welcome to the show. You look incredible, like a dessert that owns a yacht.
That's exactly the vibe I was going for. You know, sweet but slightly out of your tax bracket.
Mission accomplished. How does one even shop for a suit when...
Gold on my neck, gold on my hand, purple with the stripes, that's the walk of a man. Sidewalk shining, city lights humming, every step I take, they know a boss is. Blazing the whip, gotta vanquish the needs. My kingdom for some poppy seeds, yo.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yeah!
Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem. Under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy, I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. Told him to call me.
You know what? I talk to your man.
She on the timeline, typing like a toxic. Gossip in the coffee, lies in her pocket. He in a cheap suit, briefcase, cheap grin. Thinking bar exam means he gon' always win. They filed and fumble, every case crumble. Judge side eye, watching every word tumble. Perjury perfume, they wear it like cologne. Trying to burn a kingdom from a glass stone home. You get sued, then you lose, then you do it again. Same script, same scam, you just repress sin. You toss mud, spread names, think the truth won't bite. But the record don't forget you, it's in black and white. You get sued, then you lose, then you do it again. Whole world taking notes every time you pretend. You toss mud, spread names, think the truth won't bend.
The cycle that you love gon' be your end.
He whisper, I'm the lawyer, like that's holy armor. But every filing reading like a bad soap opera. She pointing at the mirror saying, look, that's a monster. But the face look back and it sure look conscious. Mirror on the live stream claiming they the wounded. Timeline receipts, every live time stamp zoomed in. You swing at a critic, think he just a guy online. Now your false words sitting in a sworn headline. Lose and you do it again. Same script, same scam, you just repress sin. You toss mud, spread names, think the truth won't bite. But the record don't forget you, it's in black and white. You get sued and you lose, then you do it again. Whole world taking notes every time you pretend. You toss mud, spread names, think the truth won't bend.
The cycle that you love gon' be your end.
How many docs? How many docs? How many wins end up as costs? How many victims you invent overnight? How many times can you lie on mic? You get sued and you lose and you do it again. Same script, same scam, you just repress sin. You toss mud, spread names, think the truth won't bite. But the record don't forget you, it's in black and white. You get sued and you lose and you do it again. Whole world taking notes every time you pretend. You toss mud, spread names, think the truth won't bend. Last page of your story say, this is the end.
All right, folks, how's it going? Welcome to a Saturday edition with special guests. How's it going, Shizzy?
Special. I love it.
I know, man. You know, it is a somber day today, though. Did you hear about the terrible news?
Yes, it is so unfortunate.
I know it's sad here. I have something queued up for this. So according to Ray today, it's the end of grifting as we've seen it. Look at that. It's so sad.
Sticks.
You know, it's very bad. Yes, it's the end of red sticks as we know it. And you know, today I thought as a special thing for today, we could memorialize the end of grifting by raising money in Ray's name.
I think we should raise money for heart surgery. That's what I'm thinking. You know, it is Valentine's Day. But if you're in Denmark, you put cats in a barrel and beat it with a stick.
Huh. I thought for a minute there,
the demons.
What's funny is it didn't register the Valentine's thing in that. I was like, well, if we're raising money around them, we need brain surgery instead of heart surgery. Yeah, I agree. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to all you wonderful folks out there. I have no idea how turnout on Valentine's Day will be. But what's up, Wonder Girl? How you doing, by the way? It is great to see you. Yeah, it's Wonder Girl has been a subscriber of the channel almost since the inception of the channel. So that's amazing. You know, when I see certain names, you know, it's amazing. There's like a dozen people that were here since go, and it's amazing when I see one of them. I'm like, hey, what's up?
I know. It's the same way. It's like you see such a rotation of people come through, and it's like I've had some people that have been here the whole time. I mean, Iron Rabbit is still my longest mod. And she's wonderful. I've actually had her on stream one time. She was a Vietnam vet that was an MP and a redhead. I don't know why redheads are attracted over here. They bring in the fire.
That's one reason, like for Yellow Flag, you know, every Saturday I always reference people over to Flashcast, and I'm like, dude, like, you know, I've known him since 2017. We were streaming together. I remember us having conversations like, how do we get 1,000 subs? How is this supposed to happen? You know, because they put in that's the year they imposed the monetization limit. So
yeah,
before that, everybody was just monetized. You know, you opened up a channel, you were automatically a partner. And then they were like, here's the monetization. So we were sitting around, we're like, oh my God, how do we get those extra like 500 people? How does this work? So I mean, what a flashback. You know, we're definitely gonna have to get our grift on too. You know why? Because apparently, according to the Fats and Ray and everyone else, they're gonna get us. They're gonna get us all. They're gonna sue us, man. They're gonna sue us.
They can't even, and like I posted, I mean, they can't even, you know, bend over and tie their own shoes without pulling a hamstring, and they're going to sue.
What you mean the bare knuckle fight club? You mean they can't? No, they can't do that either. You didn't? Oh man, you haven't heard about how badass these people are?
I mean, I guess they're in training. You know, more chicken skins for the soul.
These are by the way, this is from Mark, man. Hey Mark, by the way, I appreciate the heck out of like Mark does some great posting on Facebook. He pops up in different groups, but one of the groups, again, Otter Creek. Here, let me give it a shout out real quick before we do this, because I do want to give him
definitely.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate Mark. I mean, there's so many people, but man, Mark, like he puts up some. I like his method he's been doing, because he'll put the part of the chats that are talking about something, you know, at that moment, and he'll put up something else beside it, you know, and I think that's fun. So Mark here, though, I want to give old Mark a shout out, man. And yesterday was his birthday, by the way. I think I spaced that when we were doing a live stream. I remembered to give you your props on Facebook, but I think I forgot to give you a birthday shout out there, man. I apologize, brother. But yeah, if you want to be entertained, there are a few really good groups out there. Mark here, though, again, you can find him right here. Go over, enjoy the posts, you know, and some of these are great. You know, I'll show you I like how the Fats, by the way, on this post, they're really upset about defining what a fundraiser. I thought they didn't watch anything we do. I thought that was one of the keys there. And yet they're like, I saw that he posted the other day the meaning of fundraisers. It's like, that's weird. And if you're not watching, how do you see that stuff?
I've always been curious about how they're not watching, but yet they have so many different comments on it. I mean, it was something that Ray was moaning and complaining about. He was just like, well, they cause so much pain and suffering. Wait until we get into them and we'll sue them and feel how much pain and suffering they feel. I'm just like, you realize I did not sue them. I haven't even started.
That sounds like a threat to me, sir. You gonna cause me pain and suffering? Seriously? You know?
That's what I took it as.
Yeah.
And so, if they think that it's so special that we're covering all of this, and they want to come after us because they were sued by somebody completely different, it baffles the mind.
Well, it's amazing to me because you only get it one way. You can either call it all fair use and free speech, or you can't. They're mad about this post. This is the post they were talking about, you know, with the definitions again. And I've gone over this, but I think this is, you know, I'll put their answer up to it. So this is what they're complaining about. Anti-Hale says $100,000+ going poof. It doesn't matter in bankruptcy because, quote, it wasn't given to Preston, and, quote, it wasn't a fundraiser. Well, let's look up fundraiser. So in Florida has a very distinct definition of fundraiser. Here, fundraiser, any activity where money or items of value are solicited or collected from others for a stated purpose, especially when that purpose is charitable, benevolent, for someone else's benefit, framed as helping, relieving hardship, or supporting a cause. Now, all of these, again, you know, I'm giving there's a few of these examples that are straight up with that, and some of them I'm throwing in myself too. Then they have elements, 3 elements: solicitation, stated or implied purpose, and funds coming from others. So with solicitation, I mean, hey, asking for donos, posting those links, live stream beggings, you know, saying things like every dollar helps, support us, support her, help this family. Also the stated or implied purpose, helping the family, medical, legal bills, for justice, awareness. You know, you can have implied purpose qualifies. They don't have to have some type of vagary works. They don't actually have to be doing this publicly, interestingly enough. When they talk about doing all this stuff through DMs and other shit, that's also part of fundraising. Yeah, that's part of when they're funds from others. If they start getting funds from others, that's not just, you can't say, oh, that's my personal income. Or what's that thing they keep saying? Oh, yeah, I'm a creditor. That's not how that works.
Yeah, I've never understood their whole creditor line. That was something that was just like, I you know, if you look at what they're trying to claim as well, we're a creditor, and Jeremy as something like a proposed creditor or some crap like that. I guess they just don't know how much money that they actually owe Jeremy at this point.
Well, he actually is owed money because, well, number one, he's already owed money because of the Ohio mass. You know, he already had a decision go against him or them. So they owe him attorney fees plus. So it isn't a proposed creditor. They do absolutely owe him money. Then on top of it, you know, you're going to have another decision come in. It's already been noted that in the aftermath of this, they're going to owe him money as far as the thumbnail case. That's going to happen. Right. You know, and again, none of these other morons matter in this except for the fat. The fats matter because that's Lynette's money. You know, ultimately. Right. But it's funny because she said something in this that I thought, that's pretty stupid. She was like, I saw Tug put up some post about what fundraisers are. Like, dude, wake the fuck up. I've been in the entertainment basically my entire life. I've done so many shows where we've benefited companies, charities, people in general. I know what the fuck I'm doing. You obviously won't. Are you saying you've done this same thing? The same thing that you've done to Lynette Preston? You've done that in the past?
It's what it sounds like.
It very much does.
I'd be really interested in what fundraisers they actually did. I mean, back whenever I was playing with a band, we played with to do something for PETA, I believe it was. And it was a fundraiser, but we didn't benefit out of that except for exposure. So, I mean, if that's what she's talking about, that means diddly squat.
Well, first of all, right here, she's admitting they did fundraisers, which is fun because she's admitting this thing is a fundraiser too. If you get together and you do quote unquote shows where you benefit companies, charities, or random people, that is what we call a fundraiser.
So she's done a fundraiser.
Yeah, exactly.
She's saying this is just another one of our fundraisers that we did, but we're not doing a fundraiser. Make it make sense, Tug.
I absolutely love that. I think that's hilarious. You know, it's so funny. They also think it's hilarious. Again, they talk about they talk about all this like, oh no, there's no fundraiser.
But we've done fundraisers before, just like this.
Exactly. Again, if you have taken money, I played 40 plus minutes last night of Lynette Preston talking about how they screwed her out of money and the money never popped up. So I don't think you can get any clearer than that. You know?
Oh, I mean, here's where I think that they keep getting themselves bound up, is that as many times as they say that they're not doing something, they prove themselves the opposite way within 2 minutes. It takes no time at all for them to come out and absolutely verify what everybody is saying. Like I said, make it make sense, Tug. Make it make sense. I scratch my head and I'm just like, wait a second. They just said they don't do fundraisers, but yet we're experiencing doing fundraisers just like this.
Oh, it's so funny, man. Between this and I mean, again, they're like, we're gonna sue. They also they wanted to they want to play this weird game here. And I want to show you this where they're like, so if Megan's sitting there raising money for adult children's surgery, isn't that a fundraiser? Wouldn't that be a fundraiser? I mean, Megan, if I'm doing a Megan's doing a fundraiser.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Oh my God.
Oh, what idiots.
No,
her child? You talking about her kid? Yeah. First of all, yes, she is raising funds for it. Yes, 100%. That money as part of their family income or whatever. Indeed, it goes toward that. You know, the problem is like what you have been raising money for is just random people out here. You've been raising it and you keep changing the rules. You keep saying, no, it was never this or it was never that. The money, I get to say what the money was for, you know, and you can't do that. You cannot change the rules over and over again.
Well, they change the rules as to what suits them in the moment. You know, the whenever they're trying to raise the money, they're out there saying, oh, we're doing all this wonderful stuff to do benefits for helping all of these people, and we're going to, you know, better their lives and all of this kind of crap. And then as soon as the money rolls in and people are just like, hey, you know, what happened with X, Y, or Z? All of a sudden it becomes, well, that's not what you donated the money for. You donated the money to me so I could decide what it's going to go to. I'm like, that's not what you said. You said you were raising money for X, Y, or Z, and you have not provided X, Y, or Z, and now you're saying, oh, it was because you're sending the money to me. Oh, they don't want to have this harassment around them. That's why we haven't shown anything.
They were also like, Megan, oh, she's gonna be coughing up a lot of money soon. She put herself in a position where she believed Jeremy Hale's. She pushed Jeremy Hale's network. She attacked many people with lies and BS, malicious defamation. We hear about it all the time. Oh, so being sued for false this, false that, Oh, shit.
This is for projects.
But look how mad they are. They're like, oh my God, Megan, send us. By the way, if you enjoy the show, send us super chat, send us Venmo, send us whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cash App is open. I mean, I'm not fundraising. I'm grifting. There's some.
You like this too, Lily. They were like, yeah, they comment all the time that I don't get a lot of super chats. Well, that's because I'm not asking for them. Are you kidding me? You were like, buy me a new car. Send us on a cruise.
Oh
my God.
Yeah. I don't remember where I heard it, but it was it might've been them. Hell, who knows? But they were showing, we did this drive, man, their car sounds like a rattle trap. I was like, I know exactly what's wrong with your car.
Yeah. What's wrong with it? It's them riding around in it. That's the problem with it,
No, it's because they haven't been keeping up with their damn oil changes and they cracked one of their damn timing.
I thought you were saying because
gears.
white trash rolls around in it. My bad.
No, it could be, but no. I've worked on enough
call me white trash.
I've worked on enough of those Toyotas that I know exactly the noise it makes whenever you crack one of those.
I'm just gonna say, when you haul around 2 tons of fun and friends, it's fucking not gonna have a fun time in life,
I mean, it can haul around a lot, but whenever you add that extra bit of weight, it just isn't gonna move.
Yeah, once upon a time, it was almost comical at one time. I don't remember how this happened, but I ended up with a Honda Accord. Now, I'm very tall. Very, very tall. And I felt like all the time I was riding around in a fucking clown car. I mean, it was so. I like the car, by the way. Honda Accords are like nice little cars,
Yeah.
But God, I had to extend the little, I had to extend the seats so we could go back, so I could actually get into the car and drive it.
Oh God.
It was so crazy. Like I couldn't have a person sit behind me. I had to have the little rails extended so it would go all the way to the back seat. I can get my legs in. No, the funniest thing. So I think it was a Camry, but it's been so long, it's hard for me to remember. But my stepdad, who's now passed, he was the funniest dude, man. And he was like, down here in Nashville, they've got these cars on sale. They're brand new cars, and man, they're really cheap. And he told me, and I think it was like a Toyota Camry, and I was like, dude, I don't think I can fit in that car. He's like, sure, man, sure you can. Come on, let's go down here. So I was like, okay. So I was like, whatever. Going out with him was always fun because he's crazy. He was fucking crazy fun. So we get there, and this car looks like, a Matchbox car. I was like, I cannot get into that. I mean, it's going to, unless it plays In Come the Clowns, like there is no reason for me. He was like, yeah, you got to get in, you got to try it. We came all the way down here. It's like, all right. So I get in, and with it all the way back, I could barely get my leg. It looked like a spider trying to wrap my legs up and get that shit like around, like a giant. Actually, it looked like a grasshopper trying to fit in this thing. And I was like, man, I can't see anything up here. And he's like, yeah, let's take it on the test drive. I was like, this is not smart. He's like, yeah, it's a good idea. So we get out there, and we get on, we're merging onto the interstate, and you can hear the tires bark on it. When we're merging, it's like, and he's like, man, you're going fast off that. I was like, am I? I can't see the dashboard. I can't tell shit. I can't tell how fast we're going. All I see is my legs. Oh, it was great. But yeah, I almost ended up with he tried to talk me into buying it anyway. I was like, I can't even see the dashboard, man. What the hell? But it's a good deal. I was like, well, if you want to, what the funniest thing was, it's like, if you want a good deal on a car, man, why don't you get it for yourself? He's like, no, I like bigger cars. I was like, you monster.
So you're gonna have me get this?
Yeah, you want me to get this little fucking biscuit of a car? Yeah. He's like, I like bigger cars.
Oh, I had a 73 Plymouth, and my wife, whenever we first started dating, she got behind the seat of that thing, and she looked like she was one of those Q-tips where she just could barely see over the steering wheel. And she's like, I can't move the seat forward. I can't reach the pedals.
That's funny.
Loud. I was like, here, and the problem was because it was on a hill, so if she pulled the lever, because it was one of those bench seats, she pulled the lever, it would slide the seat all the way back.
That's hilarious, man.
Oh.
I love some of that stuff though, man. We went, well, my stepdad, he used to take me down to Nashville Predators games. You know, we had gotten the Preds down here, which is a hockey team, if people don't know. But I mean, in Nashville, we got a hockey team, which is the weirdest thing ever, you know. And he was so enamored by the idea. He didn't even like hockey, but he was like, we got a hockey team. This is so bizarre. Let's go watch it. So, all right. Well, by then, you know, he was sick. He had cancer. So he was taking a lot of meds. And he was like, I'm driving. I'm like, man, this is not a good idea. You should not drive, dude. You're taking like Dilaudid and all this other shit. You know, he's taking those old the fit patches before they before they went street wild, you know, the old ones. And
yeah.
Man, so we get out there, and when we're leaving, he cuts you know how they cordon it off, they put up the little cones and stuff. He cuts one of these really short, and I keep hearing the sound. And he's like, dude, you have ran one of those over. And he was like, I don't care. So I was like, you got to pull over, man. We can't get out on the interstate with you driving around with that. He's like, it probably ain't even that. So we pull over. Sure enough, it's got a freaking cone stuck under the car. I was like, oh my God. Fun times, man, though. Yeah, any trip to Nashville like that. Between that and we used to take, before we had a football team in Tennessee, you know, before we got the Titans, we used to go down to Atlanta, and that stuff was pretty wild too.
Oh yeah. And you've got they're not anymore, but the team, actually the team in Atlanta was pretty good team.
Oh yeah, Falcons, man, they were good back in the day, man. Well, they were enjoyable anyway. I won't say they back in that time. I mean, this was a while back when they were they just opened up the Georgia Dome. So this is Fulton County to Georgia. They were in the old running shoot. They were at least entertaining. So
yeah, they weren't like one of your top football teams, but they were
entertaining to watch. I used to go down there all the time, and it was fun too because you know, they were bad, and sometimes if they were really bad, the players would get mad if you say stuff in the stands. Did you know we've all been invited to bare knuckle boxing? By the way, yeah,
bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah,
I don't do bare knuckle boxing. That would have been my grandfather's gig. You know, he does
that. I'm not going skin to skin with any of these things. You know, it's like this. I don't want to touch anybody that puts the VD in Valentine's Day. No skin to skin contact, maybe.
No,
none of that. Allegedly. The other night, I was like, oh shit. I went back and listened to, you know, getting on a roll the other night. And I said something about, you know, these people look like they're spirit animals, a nicotine patch. They look like the genie that crawls out of a crack pipe.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was crying. I was laughing so hard. We're in hell.
I was like, normally all that stuff's just throw out. I don't even remember it, but that one was pretty funny.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
The spirit animals, the nicotine patch is amazing. I would have to use that like other stuff. That's shirt worthy. Yeah,
it is so beautiful.
But here they're talking about fights. They keep discussing now. This is at the same time. These are the same people that are whining now because I merely alluded to the fact that I thought that mobility scooter jousting would be a great way to settle things. I mean, think about how awesome that would be. We get out. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking the entertainment value in itself would it would more than just be absolutely glorious.
I mean, dude, honestly, you can get out there with fucking, you don't obviously have to use a wooden jousting stick or whatever. I mean, we don't have to hurt anybody, but we could have fun, and we could fight over the rights of the fishing hole with Marla. Marla, I'm still calling you out. But these are the same people whining about that. And now they're still talking about, you know what? We want to beat on Hales for charity.
Well, it's going to be pretty, they do have an advantage because, you could hit them 100 times and more than likely they're not going to be detached from that mobility scooter. They have that extra weight advantage.
It's not just that, like my sense of smell still works. So I think I'm at a disadvantage. But holy God, what is that? I think a beluga whale has died. What's going on? And you're like, oh, that's just the loofah-mobile.
There's no caviar in that thing. I tell you.
For real. That thing, gross. Sure as hell is not caviar going to come out of it if it runs into anything gross. Gross. It's so
more like chicken grease.
Megan was talking about jousting with go-kart to the loofah mobile versus a guy. I was like, no way, man. You end up having that thing, it hit like moisture fluid would fly out at you. You're like, oh man. Oh, it'd be like one of those you remember those commercials where it'd be like for deodorant or something. Oh, you feel refreshed and cool and water flow over you. It'd be kind of like a very disgusting version of that. It'd be like the blue bucket version of that commercial.
What sewer did I just run into? A water treatment plant. Oh my God.
I'll be like Kurtz. I'll be like, the horror. Oh shit.
It just got my
I didn't think I would get up this morning and throw a Heart of Darkness quote into a fucking insult. That's pretty good. Oh my God. Here though, this was actually a pretty good point too. If they're like, you know what? We've even got a backer for it. We got an advertiser that's going to come in. We're going to announce the company later.
Why wouldn't you announce it right off the bat?
I mean, this stuff has happened before. And here's the problem that these idiots just cannot conceptualize. Even if, first of all, Miltos keeps talking about somebody else that did this, another YouTuber. I'm not going to throw their name in there, but when they did it, yeah, they had a first season that worked really well. But the reason they could have it very good, first of all, is they could attract top tier talent, for boxing, and they had all kinds of advertisers and more. Now, after the first season or the first year of it, it failed terribly, and these people why would anybody want to do this with them?
Yeah, honestly. The little chicken shack down the street is just because they're sponsoring the little league team doesn't mean that they're going to sponsor a 2-ton Tessie rolling in trying to do some jousting.
Maybe
They're not
she's
going to do that.
maybe she's actually already sponsored. That explains the chicken skins. I never thought about that.
Oh,
Like, you got to show them on camera, Fatty. She's like, why aren't they ever paying me? Oh my God. Like Idiocracy, you know, where he's like, where he's saying stuff. He'd be like, "This brought to you by Carl's Jr." Oh my God. We're like, yeah, you know, that's not exactly how that works. But okay.
Just because you eat at the restaurant doesn't mean they're sponsoring you, okay?
By the way, though, this is what I don't get. So they put it out there like, oh, I got this idea. It's just a brand new idea there. But I've already got sponsors. It's like, wait a minute. How did you just have an idea, but you're already lining up sponsors for it? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, if you have an idea, you wouldn't have sponsors lined up. I mean, the first thing that you'd be doing is making sure that people are actually interested in doing this, and then you can promote that to the sponsors. I guess, you know, I suck at PR, so I guess you get your sponsors first, and then you come up with the idea.
Yeah. You just line up sponsors for, you know, whatever. You're like, hey guys, do you want to back? What are we backing? Well, we'll tell you later. Yeah, sure. I'm sure.
It's always I'll tell you later with these people.
Apparently, you know, whether or not, hey, what's the deadline for putting up this barn door? Well, we'll tell you later.
maybe we'll get to it in a year or so.
Oh my God.
What does it really matter? I mean, you need a place to live. You got a shed you can sleep in. Go sleep with a spider. You'll be just fine.
It's just funny. Like, they want to play like they're recruit, like they, you know, with the, like, again, like the money thing. And yet you have all these advertisers, I said advertisers. You have all these donors, advertisers. I guess they are. They just never knew it, right? Bad sponsors.
That's their backing.
Yeah.
All 200 people that watched the channel.
Oh, you know, tonight, I mean, we are laughing, but we are also kind of dying inside. So if you'd like to help us build our memorial, because we need a griftathon for Ray. Ray says that we can't grift, so we need to grift on the death of grifting. If you'd like to join us with it, you know, especially on this wondrous Valentine's Day. Yes, help us make this a reality, you know, and we'll clip it and we'll make sure that we play it for Ray. Oh my God. Ray's just like, you know, I could make all kind of money, but I don't try to.
Yeah, I've heard that before, where it's just like, oh, we could be really big, we just don't try. It's like, then what is your purpose again?
Well, it was funny, like, Ray sure as shit wanted to be a big channel when he was begging for publicity out of DUI guy, Megan, and other folks wanting shout outs to grow his channel. And he sure as shit cried about it when the same people were like, yo, I don't want to do anything with this channel anymore. So
yeah, I mean, and there was, I get, maybe he's just heard about that. He was just like, well, you know, you were growing my channel, and then all of a sudden you left poor Ray over here. Well, Ray, you know, people are happy to promote you, you know, but there's sort of a give and take kind of thing. You know, if people are promoting you, they're doing it because they agree with what you're saying. They see what you're seeing, and they're more than happy to say, hey, you know, go check out this guy. He's got, you know, a good take on this. But whenever you start going after people and their families, and that's what he's done. I mean, make no bones about it. He's gone after Meg. He's gone after you. He's gone after me. And he has thought that he was so on the right side of everything. Yeah, I mean, he was sitting there laughing and joking about, you know, them showing revenge porn on Megan. And he thought that was absolutely okay until Megan said, "Hey, Ray, how would you feel if this was your daughter?"
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he starts.
He's like, "I'm a victim."
It's like now do you understand, Ray, why nobody wants to support you in your
Actually, no, it does not, because he's a victim, because, you know, just like all these other people, like Cynic said, and I thought this was a good statement. And again, I'll hit every super chat noting this because we have so many. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Doxy suck.
Jousting.
That's hilarious. Some of these are really funny. You guys are on fire today. But Cynic was like, you know, there are many ways things end poorly for anti-Hales, even without Fed 2. Getting hit with sanctions or legal fees for filing bogus lawsuits is one way. Yes, they, you know, Fed, what's funny is they act like Fed 2 is a failure. Fed 2, for its cost and the reactions that it had, holy crap, man. I mean, they walked. Now, again, Hales filed a case wanting justice. All right. But their reaction to it, God, they were just like, hey, let's bury Lynette Preston real quick under all this stuff.
I know. It was that. I mean, they're the best PR team that Jeremy never had to pay for.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing because they, you know, they pull in the bankruptcy. Of course, the bankruptcy is just the ultimate what now. I cannot tell you what that thing is supposed to be about. By the way, hey, today on Valentine's Day, we're close to 2,000 people. That's amazing, man. I figured we'd get like 1,200 people today. I did. I was like, they ain't gonna get that many people. There's no way. Oh, by the way, too, Tina, she's been very motivated after these people's last discussions about her. You know that Tina has a bunch more, not just knowledge, but, you know, she has evidence too. Like she has screenshots. She has voice texts that certain people sent her. She has all kinds of wonderful stuff that she could throw out there. And these people, they keep talking shit about her like she's some kind of monster. Well, that's funny because she's got all kind of stuff that she can put out. So I told her, now again, it depends on how she feels or whatever, but tomorrow for the early show, she may well just come on with me. I think that'll be fun because she, you know, they made up this strange timeline because that's how they always do. But they made up this timeline about her saying that she, you know, that she got involved with this and that, and that you know, she was always trying to play. Well, it's funny because at one time Tina actually gave $50 for HG. She too was a donor. Isn't that interesting?
You know, and here's something is really interesting about timelines. Now, see, I reached out to Melissa Lemmerman, and I was just like, help me out with this timeline because I think I might have it wrong. And she said, and she responded to me. She was like, you absolutely have that timeline wrong. She goes, this is what happened here, and this is what happened here. Big shout out to Melissa Lemmerman.
Yeah,
she's absolutely
good at that.
Absolutely wonderful. I was like, okay. I mean, you know, and this is what they don't realize is whenever we're unsure of something and we're not quite positive about it, we reach out to people and confirm it. We don't just run with some bullshit story that's going to cause, like, what do you call it, defamation and, you know.
But you're allowed to draw inference. See, there's a difference. They don't understand this either. One of the problems that they want to talk about defamation, they still have a hell of a defamation claim against them, very potential, especially like I don't know. First of all, what's up with Lips and Chips? They haven't been on for a minute, you know, almost a week. That's very bizarre. But
well, you know, it's hard when you're coming down off of being sick.
Yes, just wait a couple of weeks. Yeah. But I wondered for real. I wondered if one of their channels got hit or something. I wasn't sure. But the claims that they made are so egregious that a rational, reasonable person wouldn't pick up on them, period. Not without it. They didn't allege or anything else. When they first came up, they said that all these people colluded on a narrative. And when they did, they colluded to set Hales up. And then what did they do? Well, they smeared his name. And now that stuff is absolutely provable. And I mean, that's a simple case, for them. They think it's interesting listening to them talk, because they think that if Fed2 falls, that they can't be sued again. And that's not true. That's not true at all.
They already said what their point was for doing this. I mean, they made it very clear that their point was to destroy his SEO.
Yeah.
That's all that they plan on doing. They don't intend on following through with it. Well, the only problem is those claims that they made sets them up to, why would you do this to yourself? I mean,
yeah, well, it's kind of that analogy I was talking about, where I saw this guy one time put on a show, for real. I saw this guy juggle dynamite. Craziest thing I've ever seen. Now he's like, at the end of it, he used to juggle chainsaws, and I guess he didn't get enough kick out of it. He did, for real, like, no joke. Because I remember, like, afterwards, I'd call him, I was like, what would be a really good show is if you strapped the dynamite to the chainsaw and juggled it. That would be really good. But anyway, when I saw this, I was like, wow, that is a crazy show. That's just wild. And then I thought, but why would you do that? You could do a lot of things to get it on, because he was doing this for I'm talking about like small amount of people that were out of this. It was this craziest thing. They put a blast card. It was it's just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I was like, man, they really expect this guy to blow himself up.
Eventually.
Yeah. It was something else. Like I said, there are many ways to make money, and there are a lot of easier ways than that, than cratering yourself. But hey, what do I know? I mean, maybe juggling dynamite's a great gig. I don't know. But that's what they've been doing online. They're juggling dynamite. Maybe they'll put on a hell of a show. Maybe they get to walk away, but why would you take that on? Why would you risk that? The level I get with people like Paint Chips feels like, the way he acts, man, I feel like he thinks he's working on borrowed time, half of it, like it's just a matter of time before the other shoe drops on him. But other people, I'm stunned. And all of them, when something comes up, all of them jump on that narrative.
It's almost like it was coordinated.
Yeah, indeed. But the thing is, again, Fed2 falls, which we'll see. But if it does, the most valuable lesson I would hope they take from it is you pick off people you pick off who you can take down, and you can take many of these people down individually and then wrap them into one another, Lips and chips are the easiest, man. Right now, that case is it's bow wrapped. Between the stuff that they've said, not just about Hales, but about myself, and Megan, everyone together. I mean, my God. Well, we don't even have to get to and I'm sure if you get to go to trial, he'll try to bring up the quote unquote school stuff. I can't wait to see their so-called proof of that.
But see that you have to understand the reason why they did this wasn't for that, Doug. The reason why they did this, the reason why they made those claims is look at the way that Lips files things. She makes sure that she creates a narrative, and then she gets it blocked where you can't view what the documents are. You have to understand these people work in the dark. Everything that's
why they work as guardians and everything else.
Exactly. And this is a way that they can get it put into having it shown in the dark where nobody else will be able to talk about it, because they won't be able to view the documents. They won't be peeled. They want to make sure that those documents are sealed. That is their point in this. It isn't about what's going to happen in it. For them, it's about getting those documents sealed, so that way nobody can see the bad things that they're doing. because they've done this on almost every single thing, except those documents do get unsealed and you can see the kind of behavior that they've had. You can
Oh
go
yeah.
back and look at the
Yeah.
lawsuit with her mother and her brother-in-law and her, all of his family, the lawsuit that she created there. That used to be sealed documents. It's not sealed anymore. You can go and actually view those documents and see the kind of behavior that she had. And this is what her goal is. It isn't about the winning. They know that they're going to lose on this.
Well,
It's about
the
making sure
funny thing is though, with a wonderful plan like that, I wonder if all their other pals understand the plan. Because
No.
some of their other plans, it's like for example, Preston. I don't think they've included Preston in wow. Since I showed anytime I show Facebook, you can. I don't know if you can hear the ding ding dings. I don't know if it picks up on that.
I love it.
I've had like 22 people they're like, hey, follow. And that's fine. If you want to follow online, absolutely. That's why I put stuff up. But it's just funny anytime I pull that up on here, because it's like, hey, can I follow? Can I follow? Yes, everyone. I have people write sometimes. They're like, that's a sock account. Well, I don't go through them. If somebody shows me that it's an account that I don't care if these people, they don't even need to follow with sock accounts. I don't post anything privately. I did at the very beginning because I said it wrong, because I never used Facebook. But after that, I put everything publicly. Everything. I'm not hiding what I talk about. I 100% believe what I'm discussing. And these people, they're talking about, great lawsuits. It's funny though, because at the same time, listening to them talk about things, they were wondering, see, they want to be on the money train. They want to be able to get paid because of Hales, right? And they're figuring out now that they're not going to get money because of the anti-slap portion. One of the reasons a person can get reasonable fees if they bring in their own lawyers and they file anti-slap. So they're like, oh, how do we get our anti-slaps? And it's like, are you kidding me? That's when you filed your response to stuff. That's when you would have filed your anti-slap. Oh my God. But you also would have had to have an attorney.
Yes.
Oh
yeah. Because the only way you're going to collect reasonable attorney fees is whenever there's some, and they want to talk about, this is frivolous. Well, and that's the thing. You hire an attorney to do that. And that way, if it is a frivolous lawsuit and it's found to be a frivolous lawsuit, then they can come back and say, and you're going to pay for the attorney's fees.
Yeah. Reasonable. By the way, one of the things they get very wrong when they talk to folks like Lips, they miss when they talk about attorney fees. First of all, we ain't gonna end up paying her any attorney fees anyway, but their whole discussion is we're gonna get $300,000 or $400,000 because of this. Yeah, you notice that word in there, reasonable. We don't get to run roughshod over them for attorney fees for that either, because you get to
And it's the same way with paint chip. I mean, if you see what the fees on that are for, it's not very much. I mean, it's not even breaking, 6 figures.
Well, it's amazing because no, they're not going to get anywhere close to that. You've got one, possibly two people in that whole case in Fed 2 that'll come down potentially, but they're talking about, we got claims, we can go after everybody. And it's like, okay, I love it. Like I said, it's all free speech. Remember, unless you talk about it, then it's not free speech. See, that's what I love about these folks. They themselves, they claim that all of the hateful and ruinous shit that they try to project, that's free speech, man. But
well, and that's the thing. The only person that you can blame for your mess up, and I'm talking about Ray here. The only reason that he can complain is the way that he behaved, and he was brought to suit not by Tug, not by Megan, not by J Hip, wasn't brought by Georgie, wasn't brought by anybody else except for Jeremy Hales. So if
we
you got
mock
beef with
people.
Jeremy Hales, you go after Jeremy Hales. You come after me, and there's a whole shitstorm that you're walking into that you have no idea.
Well, I mean, if they want to play that way, they can. But, with the thing, again, with Hales, he has much more. My business is mocking weirdos online. So, that is my business strategy. They're not interfering with mine. They are my business strategy, So, and what amazes me, though, is like I said, when Fed 2, with that stuff, the way, again, if it falls, it's like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh, we all won. No, you buried Preston. Bruce is in all kind of hot water over some shit he did. You also, on top of that, you have Lisa and the money. God, and then again, lips and chips as a work in. It's like this, number one, nothing's even close to being over. It's not even the bankruptcy itself. When they were talking about coming in and regrouping, you're talking just to find out about questions about land and other items, 5-6 months.
I mean, that was the biggest gift that Deuce could ever give them. I mean, it literally was the biggest gift that he gave them by getting them into bankruptcy.
I was stunned by that, man.
I was like, are they that crazy?
Well, when they went out with the thumbnail case, and they were saying things like, there is no way that you can get sanctions from it, things like that. I was like, man, do these people really think that? I am not a lawyer, nor do I pretend to be a lawyer. In that too. Here's the thing: they also have been talking about how learned their quote unquote lawyers. First of all, they don't have a lot of lawyers over there. They have a lot of people who have been such great lawyers that they've had to either quit being lawyers, or they've been disbarred, or they're in trouble, or whatever. But regardless, the people over there giving law advice, they miss is more than they hit. Really,
I'm counting the lawyers here, and I'm thinking about this. How many lawyers do they actually have? They've got Deuce, which doesn't want to have anything to do with them anymore, and they've got
a smart decision, because they're sticking the knife in Bruce's back, man. I mean, some of this stuff now, of course, narratives, you can tell where certain narratives come from. So they've been shopping this narrative around where they're talking about the bankruptcy, and they're talking about the trustee, the lawyers that were coming in, and they kept saying that the reason they're coming in is they're going to go after Jeremy Hales for damages to LP and stuff, which is the most bizarre.
That's not how
narrative.
it works.
But they first 2L and the gang went with it, and I thought that's not their narrative. That doesn't sound right for them. It sounds like it's someone else's. Then Volmet dropped that, and I was like, that is a Bruce narrative. That's where that's coming from. I would bet you money that's who it came from.
Yeah. I mean, but if you think about it, they've got two lawyers. That's it. They've got what, 3-4 failed lawyers.
Yeah, and I'm not counting in, just a note, I don't know anything about like Bruce's lawyer now. I haven't got to see him in action yet, So we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, I've seen him. He's big on suing YouTube.
I did read that one, actually. I did see that.
Yeah, and he lost miserably.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't win again, man. I mean, even if you've got a good claim, you might be able to win in the EU. So I did see a case where a YouTuber went after him because he had been banned, right? And the way the EU rules situate are much different than the US rules. So what's funny is, even when a YouTuber won against YouTube in the EU, they were like, we're still not going to reinstate your channel, even when they were told by a court there to do it, and they still refused to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's wild, isn't it? But I digress. I mean, still, there, maybe you could get some kind of lawsuit off the ground. But in the U.S., I mean, you are talking about a multi-billion-dollar monolith, and then their claims on top of that are just terrible.
Yes. Yeah. And they that's the problem is I've seen the kind of claims that they want to claim, and it's so ridiculous watching them try to explain themselves away. And it's like you realize that YouTube is such a monolith that whenever you're trying to battle something out, YouTube has to have done something so egregious
Yeah.
that the whole world takes notice. And they've got a billion different ways that they can shut that crap down.
Oh yeah, and they do. They do it all the time. They get hit by all the time. That's one of the things that comes with success. And they are guilty of all kinds of crap too. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of crazy stuff. But being able to take them down, that's why when the ecosystem talked early on about how they're gonna sue everybody and YouTube, I used to laugh at that so much.
Oh, God, that always had me laughing.
It's one of the dumbest things ever. Because again, you think that you're going to be able to roll in and take them on. Plus, they'll bleed you. I mean, they'll live for that. They'll keep you in court for ever if they wanted to.
And you're just a blip. That's the thing. You're just a small blip on their radar. Because you have to understand that YouTube has just like one attorney, one of their most junior attorneys that they would assign to you, the person that is just like, yeah, go deal with this idiot and just keep them busy. And that's all they'll do. They'll just keep them busy. And if nothing teaches you anymore, just watch what Mo and I watched the other night with a pro se litigant that went up against a person, and they added them into a lawsuit, and the judge had them removed, and without asking for leave, they added them back in because they're in pro se and they don't know.
Right.
This guy's like, well, I'm an IT expert. I don't know anything about the law. And he said, well, this is what I've been trying to tell you is if you are going to take something to this level, you hire an attorney to do this kind of work for you. And they are going to tell you if you have a lawsuit, which he didn't have a lawsuit, he added the wrong people. And instead of hiring an attorney that could have, cleared shit up for him for, just a few $1,000s, it is going to cost him $14,000 to get out of this in attorney's fees.
Well, these people too, they, one of the things they can't do, Hales can afford litigation, whether it goes his way or it doesn't, it's still, he has money that he can burn. Now, he especially had, because I imagine that he prepared himself for a heck of a slog in Fed 2. And, he probably mentally already budgeted for, that road is a heck of a road. You're talking about, again, there is no way we were talking about it the other night, and there is no way I could perceive that lawsuit coming in for anything less than $500,000 more dollars. No way.
No.
I mean, 10 litigants, you're talking about, again, I brought up Vic Mignogna. And just to get to the anti-slap portion on him, now he had a little bit more bogged down in some of the anti-slap arguments, but just to get to that portion, it cost close to $300,000. So Hale's, I mean, to be honest, the cost at 6 figures was a lot less than I thought Fed to, and he responded. I wonder. When he and Randy, Randy's there to do what Jeremy wants too, so he's like, hey, I want all of these people, these people are trying to ruin me. And it's one thing to want them, and it's another thing to be able to actually accomplish that in a court of law. It's difficult. It's amazing. I love
and,
to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
and here's the thing: is a lot of people think, oh well, Randy's just using him to, line his pockets. Like, no, I guarantee you that Randy gave him a full rundown of this is the battles that you're going to have to fight, and you have to tell me where you want to stop.
Right. Because a lawyer will fight for you for, if you want the fight, they'll fight,
Yes. And they'll say it's a common phrase that I hear. Are you doing this for, your own personal, you don't care how much it costs. You're just going to make sure that this follows all the way through. You're willing to follow it through to the end. Or are you just doing this because that you're absolutely in the right? Because there's two different responses you're going to get out of this.
Even when you're 100% in the right, though, there are so many pieces to a lawsuit. Like, people would get mad when I said at the beginning with Fed 1. I didn't cover Fed 1 at first because I thought it was I thought all it was a tortious interference claim, and that's my bad. I didn't read it at first, but I thought maybe he can win, but probably not. Back when it was, I just thought it was that. Then you saw the statements, the signs, all of that stuff, and it was like, wow. And you saw how badly they performed in court too. That was another portion of it.
Yes.
But that stuff, I really feel like they have sacrificed Preston though.
Well, and in Fed 2, which is really interesting to me, because I was thinking about this the other night. They're thinking that they've got some sort of win off of this. But it's a low effort win, because what the judge has basically said is these don't match up with what you're trying to file. This isn't right. This isn't the spot that you need to be fighting in, is what the judge is saying. Now, depending on what Randy has comes back and shows, right, I can see where they didn't win on the merits of the case. That's the best way to put it.
They didn't get to the case. That's the thing. Well, we've seen people deny justice with that many times, and more often than not. Again, if you look up the statistics on cases, including settlements and everything else, 2% go. 98% are out. So
Correct.
you just, by and large, you don't have a lot of a chance. And it's funny though, the same things that they were talking about suing Hales over X, Y, and Z, and I thought, man, those are the same things that he was suing over. So good luck, really good luck. Good luck saying that he went out of his way. That, see, for defamation, they unfortunately, as YouTubers now, you can make a very good case that since they attached themselves to this case, they are not private individuals. They are limited purpose public figures. So they have to prove actual malice. And that standard, they have to prove that what Jeremy stated he knew was wrong, or he acted with reckless disregard. So anything that's thrown out there, he's allowed to draw inference. He's allowed to look at something. And when you're calling him a PDF file, or good luck trying to make the case that these people, they weren't trying to ruin his life when they sit on stream and they dress up like his, I'm going to say his male privates. Good luck.
Which is also surprising that YouTube hasn't pulled that stuff down, because
it's because they haven't been flagged that hard. Like for myself, I don't want to flag them down. When I talk about it, I encourage people not to. First of all, I like to laugh at them. Number one. Now, number two, they are an evidence pit. You look at like the lips and chips mess just by itself.
Oh my God.
They supplied the majority of the evidence over there against them, and they encouraged them to go over and add it to their own platforms too. So good luck. I don't want them falling there, you know. And some of them, like paint chips, for example, has been perma banned. The thing is that, unfortunately, with YouTube, one of the things people will find, they'll set up like a VPN. It'll show a different. It'll look like it comes from a different place, whether it's a home or whatever. They'll set up multiple fake accounts, and they'll just continue to harass, because that's what these people do. He has been banned off YouTube. So
right, and they'll never be monetizing those channels, because as soon as they monetize them, it points back to their old monetization. That's why Volmit got so ticked off, because he was angry that YouTube deleted everything. Like anything that he covered is gone. It is.
What sucks
gone.
about that for Volmit, and you know, I personally don't root for the deletion of anyone. The thing is, his wild card in that was paint chips. He would show things on there that absolutely will get you banned over time. I mean, anybody could look at that and be like, that guy's going to get you banned.
Hey, and that's where he should be pointing the finger at. It ain't Jeremy that did this. It is his own behavior. Because whenever if I reach out to YouTube, which I just really don't. If I reach out to YouTube and say something like, you know, this person did X, Y, or Z, YouTube will post it on there so that way it can be resolved. And none of that's ever happened. Like, this is stuff that's come from YouTube. This isn't stuff that's come from other people. It's come from YouTube. Because I guarantee you, if it came from somebody else, that shit would have been posted the next day. Like, look at what this person did, and here's the proof that they did it.
Well, they're definitely they're community strikes and stuff, you know. And we're not talking about privacy complaints taking somebody down. Now, have there been privacy complaints? Sure. Have I ever launched a privacy complaint? Like, these people, you know, again, they can be misused. Like when Lips, you know, putting up pictures again of like my ex, for example, I could absolutely hit her with that. You know, absolutely, because that is definitely a privacy complaint there.
Yes.
But I don't get into that. You know, typically I would rather settle it on the battlefield. You know, because
hey, you know, I've got my mobility scooter all primed and ready to go. I got one from Publix.
Now, like I said, Jeremy is a different beast. You know, he doesn't have something said, like, again, for me, this is my business, you know, and you run into some nasty people when your business is when it's dealing with weirdos. They do all kinds of crazy shit. You know, they will try to ruin your life, and it's just part of that. You know, you become kind of immune to it as long as they you know, as long as they're not successful in doing certain things, which I'm not going to note, then they it's all good, because all they do is, you know, they slandered Bill. I've never been involved in a litigation until, again, I thought Lips was a good point. She also, in repeating some of the nasty business that some people have tried to throw myself, after, you know, the thing that she has a problem with is, even after things are corrected, and she has been 100% told how to find evidence, how something has been refuted, she'll continue to repeat things. And that proves that portion of actual malice. You know, it's again, knowing something's wrong or not caring. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, brother.
No, you're absolutely right. That's what I was going to say, is like, she is proven exactly what malice is. Whenever you're shown that what you're doing is wrong and you still proceed, you know, them trying to disrupt your wife's healing, that right there shows that they have no regard for anybody whatsoever.
Yeah, well, even more than that. So they tried to weaponize a claim of grooming. And I was like, well, you know, as part of your claim, it's, I married a former client. That would mean that I would have to practice, you know, therapy before I got married, and actually I was married before I practiced therapy, so it just blows that whole idea out of the water. You can't marry if you're already married before you even practice, so
But
none
they've
of that
repeated
works at
that
all.
over and over again, saying, "Well, you totally no, that's not how that works."
Well, with
They're
them,
mental midgets.
they also think that you can just go out, and they've said this, like the Thats think that you can repeat something, like if Leslie says it, they can repeat it, and that somehow shields them from liability because, well, somebody else said it. I'm just going off of what they said. Well, that doesn't matter. That's not how that works.
No.
Oh, what a bunch of idiots. Here's the thing too, and I think the biggest lesson, the biggest funny lesson will be at the very end of this, because right now they're having, they've leveraged the damage they've done to Jeremy Hales to get attention. It will go away. Sooner or later, it will go away. I've had this up here this whole time, by the way.
I'm fine.
No, I just totally forgot I had it up here. So this was the section where they were talking about, going after. Yeah, look at this stuff. This is amazing, like lawsuit stuff. Oh, John, so happy for John. Oh, Richard. Michelle, they're still in it, but Richard filed this, that, blah, blah, blah for so long. He gave us ammunition. Go back to him with gave us all the ammo, and we have a bigger case against him because everything that he's accused us of, he's actually done. Now, guess what? I have a product, and I believe it's a walrus loofah. They're gonna sue him over the loofah mobile.
Oh my god!
I have a walrus loofah. By the way, I do have one.
Oh, well, what? I'm going to do this right now because it seems like an appropriate time. Look at that! Look at that! Oh, were you going to sue me? Go ahead. Give it a try. There's my walrus loofah. Okay,
yeah, I got one of those myself. I can't remember who sent me that wonderful thing.
I know exactly who sent that to me, and man, oh man, I will tell you, it came from the most wonderful Kruger. Jessica Kruger sent that to me. She was so.
Remember. I can't remember, again, that may have been exactly who sent it to me too. I cannot remember. Again, people have been so good. They send stuff, especially with the girls. They send so much. And
those kids are so damn adorable. I mean, how can you not?
God. Today, Lord. So, it's Valentine's Day. And over at we have a skating rink here. And I would get beat up if my oldest knew I was talking about this. So no, but she made a friend over there, and they, a girl, and they wanted to go and skate and everything. And, her friend asked, hey, maybe you can get, maybe one of your parents to pick me up and we could go to the skating ring and we have fun and stuff. Well, we don't know their parents. So, of course, we have to meet them first because they don't feel comfortable, like, having somebody just pick up their kid either, which is understandable.
Absolutely.
So she was not very thrilled about it. She was like, all I want is this one thing. I was like, oh my Lord.
As you get older and you have kids of your own.
I love that drama, just all I've wanted in life is one thing, Father. One thing. How did you deny me this one thing?
She's gonna be good drama.
So funny. She's so good at, like, I'm like, you can go Tuesday. They have a special thing in the winter, Tuesday. Maybe your friend can get. No, Father, I must go tonight. Oh, she's so funny.
I love it.
Her and the little one. The little one, takes all after her too. But they're so funny. It's funny to listen to both of them. Like when they argue, you can hear the little one picking up all this stuff from her. They crack me up though. They're crazy.
They're absolutely adorable. That's why it's so enjoyable, because
the day I had blood pressure issues,
Oh my
which is
God,
funny,
that-
by the way. That day that I had all of that, they had some of their, well, let's just say you could recognize certain accounts when they were in here. Well, I'll just say it that way, right? But they were in, and the little one will run in and out. Of course, I don't lock her out ever. And I find that to be distasteful personally. If there's another person's one, maybe, but not in my situation. I wouldn't do that. So anyway, they were in the chat though, taking aim at her and saying some of the most awful shit. And I did not know about that. Mods handled it very well, but
thank you, mods.
Yeah, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. The chat was like, screw this too. But yeah, some of those accounts, we absolutely know who they belong to, which is, they think though that makes them look good, and it does anything but, But I was like, are you kidding me? It's because, like I said, they want someone like Jeremy. They wanted to break him mentally, and he has to worry about all those people around him and stuff. It's been a rough road. Like for you or me, man, we're just like Jay too. Us folks, we're all assholes online. Who cares, man?
Yeah. We're just sitting back, and everybody else is doing the heavy lifting. That's the way I look at it. It's like Jeremy is doing the heavy lifting. He is the one that is out there. It is his ass on the line, his money on the line. He is the one that is having to deal with all this stuff, and I feel for him.
I do too, man.
If Fed 2 goes away, or if Fed 2 went forward, do you know how that affects me? Not one bit, because it doesn't change their behavior. It doesn't. It doesn't affect me because it's not my money.
Right.
It doesn't. It affects Jeremy and these people. It's almost like they go, well, how do you feel that Jeremy is losing? And it's like, it doesn't change my opinion that you're a shitty person.
Well, and that he's right. See, winning or losing in court, that's part of it. Yes, you want a person to get justice, and pursuing justice. It's hard to explain a conspiracy to a court. It's hard to sit down and to get them to and belief though, in my opinion, is fucking useless. Just let me just be honest about that. So
because a lot of this stuff could have been avoided had he actually even sanctioned Dukes on this crap.
Well, if he cared, like the problem is, I firmly believe he doesn't care. If someone were to do that, this is the thing that kills me with a lot of judges. If someone were to do this, it would definitely be illegal if it aimed at them or people that they love. They would understand the issue in it, but they just don't give a shit a lot of times. And making them, you can't make them give a shit. You can vote them out depending on what kind of a judge or some of them are appointed or whatever. So maybe you can do something like that. But
well, and I will tell you, I've been impressed with Hinkle. I mean, I may not be impressed with Belitho, but Hinkle, I've seen a lot of his filings on there, and if he calls the balls and strikes, and he is just.
Well, my problem though with Hinkle, and this may be on his staff, okay, but with Belitho and Hinkle, we know that Paint Chips has been writing them, all of them. I mean, it's all over every communication that he puts out there. And under Florida, I was looking up the rules on that because I was curious about how your staff works in. There have been people that talked about, well, maybe communications, maybe that has to make it to the person themselves or whatever. But, 1 second.
Well, Judge Grubb was pretty solid on that. Judge Grubb was able to point out, and he has shown every single communication that's come in.
Oh yeah,
which
I like him. I call him Grabe. You know, that's the way I can remember.
Grabe. Yeah, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Well, it's probably I'm probably the one getting it wrong personally.
Oh, you're probably right. I'm usually wrong. At least that's what my wife tells me all the time.
7 indeed. So they talk about ex parte communications. It's in Canon 3.7, just 3.7 if you look through it. And when they're discussing part of that, how it's supposed to be, there are only specific instances where it's not a problem. Scheduling, administrative purposes, or emergencies like that, that do not deal with substantive matters or issues of merit. If those aren't, and the rules on there provided by, again, there are caveats, like even if you were to say, well, maybe this has something to do with that. Well, provided that the judge reasonably believes that no party will gain a procedural tactical advantage as a result of ex parte communications. Well, 100% there, we saw
what the judge is saying is and it's pretty straightforward. It's just like, listen, my wife just is giving birth to a child. I'm not going to be able to make it to the hearing. They're not going to ding you for that. But whenever you're sitting there saying, like, judge, you need to be looking at this case right here because X, Y, and Z happened. The crap that Deuce was pulling is absolutely ex parte communication that is not allowed.
Well, paint chips again, same thing, man. The stuff you pulled, it should be on. It shouldn't just be reported to parties, but it should be docketed. And it wasn't. It hasn't been, and I find that disturbing because he's doing it openly. Like, who's not doing it openly? And there's nothing stopping. And some of the stuff that he says, it makes me wonder, like, where'd it come from? Like, again, with the Dan Owen case, who did he hear about that? Why is that in his decision at all?
Absolutely.
His recommendation.
That makes no sense at all. Unless he's following the docket, which he shouldn't be following the docket because that violates his oath. Because he's supposed to be coming in. It has nothing
to do with the bearings of this case,
Right.
Absolutely nothing. And he's like, well, this was a shot down for failure to state a claim. Okay. Excuse the sound, by the way. I'm taking my blood pressure. So that medication that they had me on forever, right? I kept complaining about because I kept having the faint problem. I've been off of it since Tuesday night because I had that spine. I mean, my blood pressure had been dropping to insanely low levels. And, they gave me this stuff. And man, the sides to that, oh God, it was rough. A lot of the problems that I had, I think, were sides from it. But, because it handled the main issue, but they didn't give a shit what else it caused. They were like, well, fix your problem. Sorry about your luck, So for me, they've kind of just left things up in the air. Now my blood pressure, like right now, this is being active. So in the moment, my blood pressure is elevated, like, it's 144/81, which it's elevated, but it's okay. I'm doing stuff, and I've been doing stuff all day long. And I'm like, man, I hope it stays up there. I've been drinking a ton of water, I'm like, holy shit. But anyway, that's the reason you hear that. Oh, let me finish this thing we've got on the screen, by the way.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to do. So they're like, oh, we're going to look, he's got a walrus loofah-mobile. I actually have a copy of the product that they use. It's about me. It's malicious. No, it's called Parody. You remember the comic book that you all put out that, that you all backed from Dave? Because Dave put it out and then now I think you could argue that in that product, they were calling Hale's a PDF file. That can be a big problem, but if we were just talking about making fun of Parody, that'd be protected. How you own walruses? They're like a loofah-mobile. Dude, the jokes about the loofah-mobile write themselves.
Oh my God, they do. I mean, I laughed so hard whenever Jessica sent that to me. I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely wonderful.
Oh, it's so
And,
crazy. You know, too. Well,
and
the whole subject is crazy, period. You know, you're talking about in a retirement area, these people run around and they've tried to provide like flagrant hookups in an area that has a climbing STD rate. I wonder why. Again, they put the
yes,
DD in Valentine's Day. That's what I'm saying.
and I that's why I was, because somebody was just like, have you even do you even understand what the loofahs are about? Now, once somebody showed that, I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, are you dead serious? And these people are out there promoting this. Like, this is a way of life that you want to live. But then I look at people like what's her name, Tori or whatever, where it's just like they're out there promoting, you know, sexual
Promiscuity. Yeah.
yes, thank you.
Well, you can live for me.
And that's fine. If you want to
yeah.
do that, that's absolutely fine. You're adults. That's, you know, you do what adults do. And I have no problem with that. That do your thing. But whenever you're out there like promoting it on YouTube and trying to avoid the restrictions that YouTube has on that kind of behavior, because YouTube does not appreciate that. That's where I think they're going to run into problems.
Yeah. Well, these people, they don't. Okay. YouTube also will flag down all kinds of just random stuff. Like I had an old account the other day and I reviewed a comic. A comic was called Ravage, Kill All Men, right? The AI flagged that for the title. It was like, that's hate speech after 6 years. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. So if it'll flag random stuff like that, boy, oh boy, they better watch themselves, you know?
Well, and I'm wondering if that's why they haven't actually disappeared off of being on the police channel, is because of that. You know, because it throws shade on their behavior, you know, and you know, hey, your kink is your kink. You do your thing. I don't care. That's absolutely up to you, however you want to behave. But whenever you're bringing that kind of behavior onto a stream and then you're involving other people in it, that's whenever it starts to become a problem with YouTube. And more than likely, they were getting a little bit of flagging because of that.
I don't want their channel going down either, because I want to see how the whole mess plays out with all the donos. All of that evidence is all there. Yeah, it's still salvageable. Even anything that they pull down that's older, that, you know, they assume some stuff has been ghosted too. All that. Look at them talk about anti-slap. This is funny. So they were like, oh, we got the products, you know, Bruce, Michelle, John, all these products. And did you guys file anti-slap on him, or did it was only done with MLS? No, we didn't do it. We could have everyone, but we didn't. There's several, but how long do we have? Well, we'll talk about that later, because we're all going to, they're all going to file anti-slap.
That I guarantee you within the next week that is what their plan is, to file an anti-slap. And the problem is the judge will say, you weren't given leave to file this shit.
You don't have an attorney though. They're talking about MLS because they're thinking about money. This whole thing is about money. Yeah. So MLS, they talked about reasonable attorney fees. Attorney fees. You don't collect that when you're pro se. Holy shit. These idiots, man. They think they're going to get a payday out of Fed 2. And they don't. They didn't make it anywhere anyhow. But if they would have hired an attorney and they had to file anything, like again, with MLS, you know, if it goes that way, then yeah, could incur attorney fees. And I mean, maybe Bruce, I don't know. It depends. They could file and ask for attorney fees for stuff that he's that has
if it goes that way, they probably could. But as far as the rest of them, no,
they have no claim to it. You know, none at all.
What did it cost them? And that's the way that judges look at this kind of thing. Like, what did it actually cost you? And if they want to come back and say, well, it was stress on me and pain and suffering, it's like you don't understand how court systems work, because then you have to actually have a hearing and you're going to have to prove this pain and suffering. And you sitting there talking about it every damn night and then doing more defamation is not going to prove your point. You are going to lose.
It's just so bizarre. Like listening to them, you know, it's funny too, is that like, oh my God, like Tori's like, oh, if you sling shit, you're going to get some on yourself. Remember that lesson later on, boys and girls. Remember that. I'm just, like I said, I promise these people, they personalize with me. And if there ain't no case to hurt, oh baby, it's on. It is on. It is on like Donkey Kong. Did I show you this picture of Jay trying to attack me?
That little bastard, I am going to have to put a hurting on him.
So check this out. I was playing a game, right? You see me playing right here?
Yeah.
And, you know, it tells you what's happening. It's like in an ancient castle, you're in a goblin prince. And then all of a sudden, look, Jay comes in.
Oh,
you curiously watch a pear-shaped creature wielding a sharp stick. And the next second it swings at you. What a monster.
I'm going to have words with Jay. I'm going to have words with Jay coming in with that pear-shaped head. Horse head. What is it? Damn it. I forget. But you know, whatever he's doing, I am going to have words with him. And I might just have to write a song about it.
Oh my God. Yep. I mean, they're going to be going after Jay soon too. Didn't you hear? They're going to sue Jay too.
You know, and Jay has made it very clear. Here's my address. If you're going to serve me, I don't have time for your crap. You know, I'm not hiding from you.
Did you see the Marla reason that when we're talking about mobility scooter jails? Did you see her reason for the fishing hole thing, by the way?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh yeah. So this is supposed to be her whole reasons that she hates Jeremy Hales. Remember, it all is supposed to be based around that fishing hole, right? So Tracy here asked, so maybe this has been asked before, but why is Marla saying that Jeremy stopped her fishing at her favorite place? And Marla comes in and she's like, because I don't like to be filmed or harassed, so I go fishing elsewhere. Wait, what? You know, you were being filmed? When again, she's crazy paranoid, and Melissa tears into her. I love this stuff after this. So she's like, Jeremy Hales wrongly says he owns the banks of Otter Creek next to the road. For one thing, the state controls all highway easements, and the fishing spot is inside that easement. For another, Jeremy Hales doesn't even own the land next to the highway there. I'm constantly amazed at what the gullible will believe. So Melissa comes in, and I mean, just absolutely just awesome. I love it when Melissa feels motivated, you know, because you know, when she feels motivated in posting, but sometimes, you know, they don't motivate her all the time to respond. And I love it when she responds. So here she is, and she's like, Marla, number one, Hale's never said that. Number two, you claim people are watching you everywhere. You're not that important. And number three, you lie about everything and anything. Example, Jeremy Hales has a PI outside my home watching me, filming me. I can see them smile. I wave to them. In the next breath, you're like, Jeremy Hales has no clue what I look like. If you can see you smile and they're filming you for Jeremy Hales, how would he not know what you look like?
Well, she posts her image everywhere that she is.
She looks like a little turtle, you know?
Yeah.
She does. You know, I would show, hey, you can see her she's on Facebook. I was like, oh my God. That's why I offered like mobility scooter jousting, because I realized that we could, I think she would actually have the upper hand in that.
Yeah, she's been operating one of those things for quite some time.
Well, she's a little more portly than I am. You know, I am out of shape right now, but you know, I think I'm going to start. Well, we'll see how everything goes. It's been great. I'm telling you, after like today, for example, I mean, that medication, man, beats me down to the point There's like 2 major ones. And I'm like, man, maybe it's not side effects. Maybe they're just wrong about the need. If I don't need it for 5 days, then maybe that wasn't the problem, jackasses. You know what I mean? But it would, it beat you down to like limiting mobility and everything. Today, I've been up, I've been doing stuff. I'm like, yeah, I think that's it,
Damn.
But doctors don't care, dude. That's a lesson. Specialists, they're like, well, if I can make money, because all they do nowadays, if you notice, if you go to one, they want tests. They don't spend time talking to you or anything else. In fact, it was crazy. I went to this one over with St. Thomas, and this woman had so many people lined up for procedures on the day that they would take other rooms that weren't intended for those procedures, and they would just stack people in. Like they had people in old, I guess, x-raying booths that they had turned into makeshift procedural areas, so they could, and it was like, man, this is messed up. But then you look at the costs, when they're after insurance, when they're getting, the insurance is paying out $30,000 to $50,000 a pop, of course they're going to stack them high,
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. I complain about that all day. But
no, I mean, I complained about that because I went in because I have severe arthritis and tendonitis and carpal tunnel syndrome in my left hand from playing bass for many, many years. I went in, I was just like, what can we do to correct this? Because I have no feeling in my thumb. And they were just like, I mean, we can monitor the situation. After multiple X-rays, MRI, all this kind of crap, I was like, so basically everything that I did, you told me everything that I know, that my shit hurts and there's nothing you can do for me. I was like, I hate you people.
Well, that's the thing. Like, okay, so 15 months got me. We eliminated the heart. Now, that sounds like a lot until you figure that was 3 procedures. 3. And wearing a little device. I got one medication I couldn't tolerate, so I switched to another medication I couldn't tolerate. And when the cardiologist was like, well, can't do anything more for you, he's like, well, you can discontinue the medication. And I was like, if you discontinue right off, doesn't that cause problems? Is that, well, you decide. And it was like, me decide? What the fuck?
It's like, you're the doctor.
Yeah, well, I guess this is not a problem for me, or is it? So,
like, is my heart going to stop if I stop taking this medication?
I was like, am I going to have the same problems? Because, I came in here with a problem with, I thought it was my heart, but it was essentially my blood pressure was bottoming out. And when I'd live stream, it would get to the point sometimes that would bottom all the way out. And I feel like, I'm going to collapse,
Man, I am so glad that I was a mechanic, because I completely understand where the doctor's coming from on this, where you're just like, well, that didn't work.
Right. Unfortunately, though, doctors outside of a specialization, I don't care. I've heard some terrible things lately too. I had my pharmacist I really liked, nice guy. He had some problems during the beer bug. He had to have pacemaker put in because of some of the problems. Well, they left a cloth in with the pacemaker. So he went back and they needed to remove it. Well, they kept canceling the procedure, and they kept pushing it back. They pushed it back 6 weeks, and he, of course, got an infection because of this thing in there. So they ended up taking it out. They got they started controlling the infection, and then he needed a new one put in because there's nothing there. Well, they started pushing back and postponing because the doctor's availability. And I was like, man, this is insane. And it caused him, it's killing him. And he's suing, but you can tell by their responses, they figure he'll die before he ever gets any money. So, they're playing the waiting game with him. It's crazy. But with this anyway, so like I'm way off topic.
Sorry.
No, that was my fault, actually. But with this, Melissa is also like, or how about you blaming Jeremy Hale's supporter as causing the backup DCF calls when the article You even posted yourself, stated, quote, DCF blamed the installation of new technology that 2 months later, department staffers apparently still haven't figured out. Yeah, so when they had problems with DCF, the call issues, she was like, it's Jeremy. And then she posted an article, and then the article was like, you know, the problem is actually technology. She's like, did you actually like only read the headline? Oh, I love this one. Jeremy Hales is mean and has no right to have someone park on his own property towed. They were on the easement anyway. And she's like laughing my off, you know, like this. Look at this is what she calls the easement.
Right.
This guy is not on the easement.
No, you parked on private property, and you know, under normal circumstances, something like this would be overlooked and not a big deal. I mean, but I remember seeing this video, and this guy came off as a complete asshole, self-entitled son of a bitch, and it was just like, you've got to be kidding me. You know, they're providing you a little bit of grace and not having your crap towed off. And you're just taking advantage of somebody, and then you feel entitled that you should be able to do this kind of behavior.
Oh yeah, they think they should be able to do whatever, man. You know, it's wild. Did you hear, by the way, that Lynette Preston is she's actually given up the name Lynette.
Oh,
she said
really?
it's now being buried. I know. I'm gonna have to do a fundraiser for that too.
Oh, we're gonna have.
I'm gonna do a memorial grip for that. That's mine, Jay. Stay off of it. You bastard. That's mine.
Ceremonial.
I claim I will. We'll be throwing down. We'll be on mobility scooters fighting at dawn.
Oh, I will be there to film it. I'll guarantee it.
God, that would be the most fun. I really think we should do something like that. I actually do. I think that would be the greatest show that we could ever put together for anyone.
Well, you know that Dollywood is coming up pretty soon with Expert.
Is it? I didn't.
Yeah.
No, I'll see about that. I'll see how I feel, man, because I'd like to do it. You know.
It would be so much fun. I mean, it is one of those where, and you don't have to worry about security because, well, you're in Tennessee.
Yeah, I carry my own security, you know.
Exactly, as does everybody else.
Yeah.
But no problems.
I found with most of these loudmouth morons anyway that I went to, so back in the Vic Mignogna stuff, I went to a convention where people had told me that if I arrived, you know, they were going to do all these terrible things and stuff. So I went there, you know, and I told security that I was there and stuff. Well, these people, they commiserated the fact that we actually did show up. Some of these people were from this area because it was in Texas, and they were like, oh, you know, we're going to deal with you and stuff. Yeah, they wouldn't get within 3 miles of the place. They went and drank and complained about how terrible we were, you know. I loved it. I thought that was funny.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But that is typical of these kind of people. I mean, even Paint Chips, you know, he's made physical threats to both you and me and Jeremy, and you know, Jeremy's just said, if that's the way you want to go ahead and file the motion.
Oh man, it's like, hey, Paint Chips, bring it, fat boy. You know where I'm at. You know, for real, just big talk, man. Big fucking talk. You know where I live? I live out in the middle of fucking Podunk, Tennessee. You think that they'll fault me for somebody that threatened me if they come out here and try to threaten where I have kids? I mean,
not. I think they might. Don't they give like an extra pack of cigarettes for that?
That's exactly it. You know what's weird? Okay, so I saw this post too from Lynette, and I thought this was interesting, considering what this is really talking about. Is they're talking about the property, and they're talking about the bankruptcy. They keep telling us the bankruptcy, there's been no wins in that, you know, nothing at all. And yet you have Preston in their chat talking about, we're not leaving this property unless we are forced to do so. I'm fighting my heart out because this is HG's home forever. When I die, she'll have a paid for home. I can't die knowing different. So this conversation here tells you that they are fighting and potentially going to lose their land. I mean, we'll again see how that plays out with bankruptcy, but it doesn't look good.
No.
And
No, that's not a good way to frame this either, because that brings back like Ruby Ridge and crap like that. Whenever you're saying crap like this, whenever you're saying shit like this, Lynette, this makes people think that you're going to pull some Ruby Ridge shit. This is not good. This,
ultimately,
Lynette, you need to stop posting shit like this.
Whose fault is it, Lynette? That's the question. Whose fault is it that your property's in danger? You know, at the end of the day.
I mean, think about who talked you into, forcing you into doing a bankruptcy.
Well, also, I played 40 minutes of conversation yesterday. And out of that 40 minutes, she talked a lot about permits. And those permits, again, you know, there's a few roads that go down the bankruptcy, which is bad, but also you have to have a perfect storm of events come together to have what you had happen to her. And she had to be talked into a bankruptcy.
Yep.
She had to have nothing going as far as building, you know, and they can't just start it up now and say, oh, hey, actually we're doing it. Because if they started up the stuff and, you know, they started working with that money, first of all, they proved the money was there. But second of all, the assets, you know, they would be spending assets afterwards. So they're locked in. And now there is no undoing. What's crazy is I really tried to help Lynette, again, not sabotaging anyone else, you know, but I tried to talk to her about getting someone to discuss like her options, her real options, you know, like,
someone outside of her normal purview. If she would have just sat down with an attorney that has nothing in stake with this, they would have told her the decisions you're making are really bad decisions. Who is talking you into this, and you need to stop listening to them.
Well, with this, you know, they've picked a fight. Like the one thing that they always say with Hales is that Hales is litigious. Okay. Now, a lot of costs from lawsuits, you know, if Jeremy's acting in good faith, he's going out, he can sue for a while still. You know, he could continue to sue. Yes. He could fire up more lawsuits. Like I said, they think that Fed 2 just ends things. That, you know, if Fed 2 were to suddenly fall, that they're all off the hook. And that's not how it works, you know. But Hales can afford to do this stuff, you know. They picked a fight with, and they motivated a dude where they tried to burn his life down, but not just his. They aimed at everyone that he cares about. They aimed at everyone from the people who work with him, that kind of family, to actual family, you know, blood family. And
they have gone after his child. They've gone after his ex-wife. They've gone after people that he contracts out. People like Travis. They've gone after him. Because, you know, he's doing the right thing by helping an old guy that is sitting there going, I need to get my property off of their property. And they've gone after him. I mean, this is the kind of behavior that these people have been doing. And I mean, Travis is just like, you know, hey, this guy needs some help moving his stuff off of here. I'll show up and I'll help him move his stuff off. Who else would take their time out of their day? Think about this for yourself. If someone said, hey, can you help me move my stuff off this property? Would you actually be able to have the time and spend the time to go and help somebody move their equipment off that property so that way they don't lose it? I don't think there's too many people that can say, yeah, I would jump on that in a second.
Right. Which is nut. Like,
and then he gets involved in a lawsuit. He ends up becoming a creditor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they force him into, well, you know, they keep talking about how he's inserted himself in the bankruptcy. They say that all the time. And it's like they added him, you know?
Yes. By their own behavior. by their
Well,
own
I mean,
behavior.
they put him in the filings, though. He didn't write himself into the filing. They put
No.
him in there, because they want to desperately tell themselves that they can write up anything. When Lynette runs into the stone wall of reality that tells her that these people, they've looked out for themselves. Best case scenario for them, they all walk away. All right, nothing happened. Did they help Lynette? Did she actually have a positive outcome through any of this? I would say no. Lynette's not smart enough to, again, like when you would ask her, like, hey, have you talked? Again, I think that's a very good question. Have you talked to somebody? Well, we don't have the money to. Consult with someone. Shit, there's people all over the place. You could just ask them about.
You can go to a local college, a local law school, and I mean, I know that because I've been following a lot of the Twin Flame stuff, and one of the persons that was sued in that went and talked with one of the law students and had them write that all of their pleadings for them. And it cost them a hell of a lot less. All they did was just say, hey, I'm not an attorney. I need somebody that does this. And they listed them on the actual lawsuit. They said, hey, this is the person that helped me out with it. If there's a mistake in here, let us know so we can amend any mistakes that were made. Because, they're just a simple, legal aid. Anybody like that can help you out with this kind of stuff, but they have done none of this. Like, it is just baffling that and it just seems like they're just grifting for money, even whenever they're being sued over bad behavior.
Lynette Preston is of the opinion that she's somehow going to walk away from this whole, and I mean, and she also, it's fascinating because everybody that's thrown into this stuff, they're the bad guy, not Lynette. They're the bad guy always. It doesn't matter who it is. Some of them are bad guys, by the way, but everyone's bad. Hey, can you hold this for 2 minutes? I hear somebody yelling at me.
Absolutely. I got you, brother.
1 second. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, chat. How are you doing? Oh my gosh. Mary Maldonado, it is so good to see you. Oh my gosh. You guys are wonderful. And we've got, I have no sympathy for Lynette. She's not a victim. Absolutely, Linda Carter. And we've said this multiple times over a course of, I don't know, what has this been going on? Years? And it's just this constant, oh, I'm a victim in this situation. And playing the victim only goes so far. You can only grift so much money before people start asking, what, you seem to be benefiting from all of this. Hey, how you doing, Jenny? Good to see you. Goosebump. Hey, Shiz. Good to see you here. No, it is good to be here. It is really good to be here. Lynette is stuck in her own reality. No, you're good. I mean,
it's so funny though. Here, I thought this was fun too. So Lynette and them, the day the Fed 2 pops up, it was funny because I was saying, hey, Hale's absolutely had a win today. He had a big win on the bankruptcy side of things. And they pretended that didn't happen, right? And you can see them, they're like, oh, Tuck keeps saying there was a big win. And even Lynette's like, he's talking about the bankruptcy case. It wasn't a win, though. It wasn't a win. They're going to play on that bankruptcy, Marla says. Oh, I only listened to get evidence to refute what was being said in court. Now I don't need to unless until I participate in a countersuit. Marla's going to sue us too.
Bring it on.
Oh God. I hope you have
good
something.
Lord. Oh my God. Maybe I'll do Luthman and just, issue a trial by combat. I'll even cut, copy, paste all of his language.
Yeah, they actually said that was okay. You know, that's the thing that amazes me. You know, you have Dave out here crying about how people were mean and they did this and they did that. Dude, these people were talking about beheadings and shit, you know, for Hales, and they were okay with that. You know,
no, it wasn't all that they were talking about. You had Ray out there talking about, you know, count your ammo. I mean, and they think that shit is okay. They think that that's absolutely proper.
Lynette, I went through something yesterday that was so horrendous and so terrible. I've never been through in my life. Now, this was a bankruptcy day, and I shouldn't have been worried about anyone else other than the people close to me, my friends and people I love and care about. I can't even deal with what happened yesterday. I can't. It breaks my heart. We've had 3 years of sleepless nights. Do you think we'll be soon? Man, John Cook. Oh, you piece of shit. I hope to God. I hope to God your ass does, because I would love in a courtroom to be able to get Lynette Preston on a stand talking about you and red flags.
Oh, yeah.
I would, you know. And then she's like, guys, I'm burying the name Lynette forever. Oh, another name gone, right? So when we joke about LMNOP, I guess we're going to have a new one now, right? Now it's going to be Michelle or Lacey. But she said no one has ever called her Lacey before. Remember that?
No, except for, what was that? Her stripper name? Is that what it was?
I believe so. But she was like, nobody calls me that. And then she had other names. Like, nobody calls me this either. And now she's like, well, everybody should refer to me as this.
I have to step away for a second. I'll be right back.
No, you're good, man. I love going through this stuff, folks, because all these crazy, again, the person that is really good to keep up with things like that is Mark. Mark posts all kinds of just funny stuff. You can go through and, of course, you know, I still need to go through the last Ray, probably the couple of his live streams. I've never heard someone try to play a tough guy while at the same time trying to play the victim all the time too. It's amazing. And they were, they're like, oh, we're going to get Jeremy. We're going to sue him. You know, 3 years he's been talking, you know, again, they're going to have some real problems. They think that, you can see them talking here. This was posted by Melissa. Said, been going through all my files and stuff. Oh boy, I have all my notes for 3 years on this Ray. 3 years. Stuff we've forgotten about, Ray. It's a lot, but will be needed now. LOL. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Like I said, you think that you're going to walk into a court and sue. You think. You know, one of the things that you will be run right into is a countersuit. You will open yourself right up to one, and the countersuit will be glorious. It will talk about things like you dressing like Jeremy Hales is, you know, you all talking about that. So they think, I mean, again, they are absolutely talking about how Fed 2 falling. Now they're going to sue him. You know,
they're not just talking about suing him. They're talking about going after you and Megan and Jay Hip. And well, they don't even want to talk about me, which is wonderful. I think that's,
well, I just think it's funny because they come up with this weird conspiracy. Their whole conspiracy edges on the fact that we somehow, in some way, we work for Jeremy Hales. How is that happening?
I haven't figured that one out. I mean, I should be asking for a damn paycheck if I'm working for Jeremy Hales.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's much laughing. I think I need insurance because I keep laughing. I think I'm hurting myself.
Does that come with good medical? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm gonna hit some supers. You stick in or are you out?
No, I'm here, brother. I'm here for you, brother.
All right, let's do it. Max kicks it off, man. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you, Max, by the way. It's good to see you, man. You know, one thing I have not covered still is on Fed 2. I do need to cover those John Doe filings that got shot down, you know, where
there's no need to even really go over that. I went over that and And the guy that wrote them actually showed up in chat and was just like, "Oh, I've been called out."
Oh, Camp, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was just like, "Oh, you found me out." Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting that these two have worked in tandem before. You know, it's such a nasty little thing that these people they do, and they get away with. The craziest thing is, if anybody
Bully Hunter pulled them all up and was just like, yeah, these people all work together and this is the behavior.
Yep. I do still, you know, for one of the things they also do not understand with litigation, you know, they talk about we do something they don't. We cover documents, period. The only document at first, we made fun of Bruce and we didn't cover some of his stuff because he was so pissy about it, right? But even then we started covering everything after a while, you know, just like normal. And I mean, that I need to add that in just for completion, if nothing else. No,
you saw what he did, Ricada. I mean, he went after and struck Ricada on privacy.
Oh yeah.
It's like, really?
Well, after begging people, you know that Bruce. See, one of the things they've forgotten back when they're like, hey, you know, we're going to sue on behalf of HG. That mofo sent me pictures of the child and asked me to cover that airport stuff going on with the grandson.
Yeah.
They sent me pictures of her, HG, they sent LP, HG, and the grandson and other people. I've still got them. I filed them away because I was like, man, you know, they've asked me to cover stuff related to the kid. Their lawyer did. That's the quintessential part in that. You know, when they complain and they say, oh, well, people have brought this up. Well, they asked us to. They're lawyers.
Yes.
So,
multiple times.
Yep. Big problem there. Fallen hero. Thank you for being here, my friend. It is always good to see you. And thank you for the gifted membership too, man. Thank you, as always, brother. Appreciate you. Wonder Girl. Like I said, Wonder Girl, probably one of the first dozen people that was attached to this channel, which amazing. Thank you, Wonder Girl. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Drop 10 giftos right off the bat too. Thank you, Wonder Girl. That's so awesome. It's so crazy though. When I think back, I'm like 2017 to 2018. I'm rolling 10 actual functional years on YouTube.
I mean, and the amount that you grew, I mean, that people don't understand that covering Jeremy Hales has not been a win for Doug.
It's actually, I could have gone into like Blake Lively, for example, and if I wanted to make money, that's where the money's at. You can make real money on that. You know, now I make money, you know, I'm happy with where I'm at. But if it were all about a paycheck and all about just growing on YouTube and not about, you know, following, well, I want to be entertained and I want to feel like I'm trying to do something, you know.
Well, this has definitely been entertaining. I guarantee you.
And I think exposing what's happening here is important. You know, ultimately, they're going to leave behind a legacy that is going to be so warped on Hales that you have to have someone set that record straight, and it can't be Hales, you know. So at the end of it, somebody's going to have to also go in. That's what I've said about other cases. Like even now you have like Heard. Everybody thinks, oh man, you know, all that was settled back in, you know, years ago. Well, they're still trying to rewrite that trial. They're working on it now. You know, and these people, this will be their lives. This is the only thing they will rub up against a guy that had 700,000+ subscribers. That is their big cup of tea. They'll never have anything bigger.
Nope.
Blah. Thanks for the 10 for Ray. That's right. You know, if you, by the way, if you haven't heard, it's so sad. This is the end of grifting. So it hurts, man. It hurts. Ray said that we can no longer monetize. So on behalf of Ray, we are monetizing. Ray telling us that we can't monetize.
The tears are falling.
Oh man, I need a memorial for it. You know. I'd put up a memorial for rape, and he'd be like, "That's a threat."
Do you think we could put up a memorial using like the I think the suit of armor on the Loofamobile would be appropriate.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, like, if you were going to climb up on the Loofamobile, God, you need some kind of protection. So, SF, thanks for the 5. To the end of the grift. That's right. The grift is dead. Long live the grift. That's right.
It's only a flesh wound.
Oh, it's so good. The grift will never die. You know, it's funny. They make it sound like Fed 2 was this entire like debacle with its case, and it's like, no, the headliner is Michelle Preston.
Yes,
I mean,
always has been.
Yeah, and what's crazy is even if today you had, like, let's just say everything that comes up, let's say Ohio got swept off the board, loss, right? Okay,
yep,
there still existed a protective order. 2 violations. Fed 1 off the board. Okay, well, again, you still got the state cases that are a wash and losses. Plus, she ends up, she's going to lose a lot. They also lose all proceeds that they picked up from all these people. They gained nothing at the end of it. You know,
No.
They gave it away because idiots told them to go to bankruptcy court. It's amazing. Keith, thanks for the 2. Your Megan birthday grift will never die. I know that will never die. Ever. By the way, you know, we will have an early birthday for Megan later on in a couple of weeks. You know, that way, I do need to pick up that video game, by the way. I do have one thing that I need to buy for leisure. That is Resident Evil Requiem. I love those games. So yeah, it comes out this month. It comes out the 27th. So Megan would really like you to get that for me for for her birthday. You know, her birthday present. She was like, you know what? For an early birthday present, I really would like Tug to have Resident Evil Requiem. And I was like, thank you, Megan. Thank you. I think I quoted it. It's paraphrasing, of course.
It is paraphrasing.
Yeah, my thanks to the 2. No more grifting. No. Happy Valentine's. Yes, happy Valentine's to you too. I hope everyone has had a great one, by the way. You know, Susan, thanks for the 5 there. Not for raised breadsticks. I know. The only person that's really mad about stuff is what's Ray, because he's not getting breadsticks, you know?
No. I mean, I think he's jealous. He's jealous.
I think really that's where the death of grifting comes from. He's like, you know what? I'm not getting mine, because he brags about how he's never monetized, and I'm like, well, that's probably because you can't. You know, those who can do, you know.
And maybe he can't navigate that situation.
Nope. What a nut, man. Take my blood pressure again. Thanks a lot.
No, you're good, brother. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Nody Beeswax, member for 8 months. So nice.
Happy V-Day. That is always nice, isn't it? You know, for sure.
It makes my heart throb.
I know, I love it. Snowflower, thank you. Dropped 10 giftos there. Thank you for that, by the way.
Now, Snowflower is the one that got my helmet.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Love that. You know, your helmet thing, that was pretty awesome too. On its own, you know, on its face.
It was.
Look at that. Wonder Girl, 74 months there. Isn't that crazy? That's when memberships started, by the way. You know, so that's
she has been there from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, for real, you know. So, like I said, I'm very partial to anybody that's attached. But man, when I look back and I see that, that's just amazing to me. God, I've been on too long. I might have to roll through these. Wonder Girl, though, 74 months. Happy V-Day. I have a heart. I have a heart on for y'all. I love it. That's hilarious. Pickle Tink, thanks for the 16 months. God, this thing is driving me nuts. It's like, let me get a new reading, sir. Like, Jesus Christ. Pickle Tink, thanks for the 16 months. Happy Valentine's Day to all. Well, happy Valentine's Day to you too. Appreciate you. Harry, thanks for the funds for Ray to get a new brain. Yeah, that would probably be helpful, wouldn't it? Emmy, thanks for the 10 giftos there. Thank you, Emmy. Much appreciate you. 10 gifted memberships. That's awesome. Thank you. Like I said, you, Wonder Girl, freaking Snowflower, all y'all dropping those too. That's amazing and much appreciated. Yeah, see, this thing is so weird. It's like I'll get after I do this for a while, I'll get flush. You know, I feel like, man, something's off, but it's not in my blood pressure. It's just something's off, you know. And they never figured it out. 15 months and they still haven't figured it out. You know, but at least I mean, I get like my face feels hot and stuff, but it's not like before, you know.
Right.
And it could be, you know, overload from just doing for so much at one time. I'm not sure, but it would have been nice if they gave me an answer. You know, Real Ryan, thanks to the 2. Hashtag unplug Ray. Indeed, he needs to unplug himself for sure. Puzzler, thanks for the 2. Vader, Ray, let the hate flow through you. Yes, that's right. Ray. Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta grab a water. I
got you, brother.
I forgot to bring my water over here. Just give me water.
You're not supposed to talk while taking your blood pressure. Why not? Come on, Missy.
So much water, dude. That's one habit I've picked up from all of this mess is that I drink an army of water. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've started drinking quite a bit more water. You know, as we start to reach the you know an older age, you're just like there's certain opportunities that I need to take that I didn't take before.
Dehydration. I'm filling my water bottle, so that sounds wonderful. You know, probably sounds like it sounds like I'm blue bucketing over here with the fleece.
Ray, the things blew through you.
I hear the blue bucket. It's pouring round the bend, and I ain't smelled hand sanitizer since I don't know when.
I don't know when.
I'm stuck in Otter Creek. Oh my God! I've ruined that great song. Sorry, Johnny Cash.
You know what is really glorious? My wife's grandmother had at her funeral they played "I've Been Everywhere." That was just awesome.
That's awesome.
She was a big Johnny Cash fan, and she was loved to travel.
See, that's absolutely awesome. Yeah, that is. That's awesome.
It was.
I love it. Like I want to have something cool like in my funeral. I want something that like, you know, everybody's like, what the hell? You know, I want something about, you know, when I die, it's not forever. You know, I'm going to come back as a zombie or something. People are like, what the fuck is that song? I'm going to write my own song. It's going to be called, Wait, I'm Dead, Sacrifice More Goats. You know, or something. People are like, what the fuck is this mess? That'd be an amazing song, you know. Wait, I'm often sacrifice more goats. Need one of those like a voice. Oh man, if you could talk somebody in, you can have real fun. Like having one of those voice throwing devices. Put them in like in the coffin when they shut it.
There was a guy in the UK that actually had a voice recorder inside of his coffin that was talking to people as it was being lowered in. It's like pounding on the wall. Like, come on, let me out. Let me out.
That is very bizarre.
No,
thank you.
I'm just kidding. I really am dead.
That is awesome, actually. Cynic, thanks for the 5 there. There are many ways things ended poorly for anti-Hales, even without Fed 2. Yes, indeed. Getting hit with sanctions / legal fees for filing bogus lawsuits is one way. That's right. You know, again, they don't care though that Lynette pays. Ultimately, I feel like Lynette, as long as she's the one that pays and they don't, they walk away with money, they're okay.
Yeah.
Martin, thanks for the 2. This donation is made in Fleece's name. Oh man, that is awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Fleesa. That's so good. Oh, look, it's mac and cheese. Thanks for the thanks for the 5. Happy Valentine's Day to Tug and Shizzy. Oh, well, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Venomous Venoms, thanks for the 2. Happy Griftability. Happy Valentine's Day. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate
Venomous
that.
is awesome. If you haven't seen her stuff, it's glorious.
Oh God, I like it. I was shouting her stuff out because I mean, she does good work. She's also a good, you're talking about like Melissa and people finding stuff. Venomous is also a good finder of items.
Absolutely. I mean, she is on it.
Yep. Mad Hatter, thanks for the 2. Howdy, Shizzy. Still a thug, but you're here.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a thug.
That's right. Indeed. Indeed. I love having Shizzy here too. We always have good. I was going to have him on last week, but he was away. I hit him up and he was like, "Hey, I'm away." And then I thought of it today.
I was in South Carolina watching my wife get her hair burned.
Oh, no.
She lit up the fireplace, cranked it up, and the gas kicked in. It went woof. And she was like, "Oh crap."
That really sucks. Spin Doctor, thanks for the 5. Picturing Tug folded up in the knees, hitting the ceiling of cars with elbows hanging out of both. Yeah, it was quite wild, man. You would. I loved that though. It's fun when you look back at those memories with people. You're like, oh my God. Gamer Jackie, thanks for the 2. You're a mile away from the dash. Jez hitting the wheel. Yeah, well, I try to I try to push back as far as I can anyway. I have long legs, so when you get over 6 feet tall, like you start having problems with economy cars, especially. So I mean, when you're coming in like 6'4s and 6'5s, you got some problems. And my foot is a size 14. So some of these gas and brake pedals are so small. I'm like, I can hit them both,
Yes. That always ends up being a problem because you're sitting there going, "Oh, I don't just watch Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts, where she's like, yeah, you've got man's feet. This is designed for somebody with very small feet to drive."
Yep. I would have to turn my foot like almost sideways when I would drive and think, what in the hell is going on here? Can I pull this off? There was something to say. Rat's ass, thanks for the 2. Hope y'all enjoy a happy V-Day today. Thank you. Happy joy. That's right.
Joy.
Happy joy. Rhea Rye, thanks for the 5. Husband Mark's granddad was around a bare knuckle boxer. Wow, man, taking it all. Yeah, indeed. You can hit Mark on the head with a chair and just look at you. I used to fight, like when I was younger. I would fight, but I've never been a fight you in your face. I've been I was, until I hit growth spurt and got bigger, I was a little scrawny guy. So I would get in some like ugly fights. But a lot of these people.
Well, here's the thing. Whenever you've got an older brother, you tend to get into some really knockdown, drag out fights because your older brother, he's got those few years on you and he will pound you into the dirt. You learn to fight.
Yeah. Well, I went to when I was younger, the middle schools, they decided back when to bus us. They would take a new approach to busing in Tennessee. They thought that we had district up too much. There was not enough diversity, I suppose is a good word, right? So they decided to take us from Antioch, Tennessee, and bus us all the way into downtown, which is about an hour and 20 minutes. So we'd have to one way, and they bused us to a place where even forcing kids in, they didn't create diversity. What they created was they created some problems, and they did that. They created it for Asian kids. They busted in a bunch of Asian kids, a bunch of white kids, and you would be less than 1% of the population. And there was a lot of just it was bad some days.
Lots of fights. Yeah.
Lots of,
'Cause,
yeah.
you know,
And
just-
they were over things, you know, if people wouldn't even believe, you know, just the nastiness and the stuff that was allowed back then. But you learn real quick, fight or you were in trouble.
uh-huh. Fight
People
or
think-
find somebody that was bigger than you that could fight on your behalf.
Oh, dude, there was this big fella one time. You know, he used to always talk smack and mess with people and stuff. And one day, you know, I was a little bitty guy. And one day I snapped. You know, he was walking towards something. He'd done something. I think he'd shoved me or something. And I just snapped. I was like, whoa, you know, and I ran and I jumped up. I mean, he was a big guy, but I jumped up and I grabbed him on the neck and I started hitting him in the ear, you know, I hit him in the neck, in the ear. This guy reaches around and picks me up by my shirt collar like I was a gnat. And he's just laughing. And he was like, you know what, little guy, I think I like you. He could have beat me to death that time, but instead he was like, I like you, you know, and we never had another problem. But I was like, oh my God. I think back to that, you know, in those moments where you're like, oh my God, this guy could have crushed me like nothing. But
that was one of my good friends in high school. He, you know, I was tiny and I got into high school and I had this guy that was just the local bully and he'd push everybody around. And one day he came at me, he started on me and I beat him down with a textbook. And he offered to give me a ride home after school. And we ended up becoming good friends after that. It's just wild. Yeah, if you've got to be able to stand up for yourself, at least try, even if you're going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you lose either way. You know?
True.
But,
True. I digress. Pickled Tink. She's awesome.
yeah, I like Pickled Tink. Thanks for the fun there. I like that name too. It's funny. Tug, you have to release the forward thing on the mobility scooter before you drive back on the LMNOP property to stay with the smell. I'll take in a breathing tank, you know. I mean, it's something. I need something on that, you know, something to save me. Emmett, thanks for the 5 there. Scooter Jousting sponsor is doxycycline. That is funny. I would say some other things, but they would get mad. You know?
Yeah, say something.
What's funny? I heard Lynette say also, or them say that Lynette was going to. Well, I think the doxycycline is funny, so, you know, because like we were talking about putting the V in VD, there you go, there's your cure. But, you know, they were talking about Lynette. She could sue people, including Tina. And I was like, yeah, you know, Tina has a lot of stuff on Lynette. They have no idea. Like, I've seen some of it, and wow. It's just that Tina, she's conflicted because of the kid. She doesn't want to, you know, anything to harm the kid. And that's something you've seen with a lot of people, Lloyd and other folks, you know?
Yes. And I think that is one of the worst possible things that you could do. You're using this child as a bludgeon and as a shield.
Mhm.
And it is just, it just shows the level of depravity that these people possess, that they would do this kind of stuff because they know that people aren't going to do anything for the child, you know, to harm the child, but they are going to do everything they can. And they will even go so far as to go after these people's children.
It's crazy. Well, they don't care if they, you know, with kids, they're okay with targeting kids. They
Yeah.
prove it all the time. They target everyone else's kids. I mean, Jesus, you know, it's crazy.
Come
Natalie.
after your kids.
Oh, yeah, a lot. Thanks for the 20 there. Hey, Ray, this is not a fundraiser. It's simply because I like listening to Tug. He's interesting, unlike a lot of people. Indeed.
Oh.
Well, I can have a fundraiser for me, you know? I mean, you know, we absolutely, that's what these people don't understand. You know, we, if you're giving to a person, if we're talking about building up something or whatever, if we promise you that we're going to do X, Y, or Z. Like say we wanted to really build something, not
Yes.
the way that we did the bench, the bench that never was, but we did.
Right.
We'd have to set a stated goal.
Yep.
We'd have to fundraise that. We'd actually have accounting for that to show you
Yep.
where the money went. And in the aftermath, if it was for us, that's okay. It's our money then. But if it's for someone else, then you need to give them the money afterwards.
Yeah. If I was sitting there saying, listen, I think that we need to get Yamaha a new microphone because he just sounds too damn sexy. I would do a fundraiser, and I would have accounting of every single penny that came in. And if somebody said, hey, I think that I sent in too much money because you've already gotten his sexy mic, then I would say, okay, well, here's where we spent every single penny, and you would give full accounting of it. And it would be open books to everybody. There wouldn't be just like, oh, well, just email me and I'll send it to you. No, it would be full accounting all the time where anybody could view that at any point in time. That's how you do a fundraiser.
Yep. Well, and also in the middle, it would be different too if you're like, hey, we're going to help out Yamaha, like throwing him out there. We're going to get him, for this day. He's in so much need. He's doing without. They're living in a hole here. They have nothing. We're going to help them out with this build. Well, if you build it up, you would think the decent thing to do beyond your obligation is to give it. You fundraise for them anyway, but beyond that, the decent thing would be when you said all that to give them the money too. To help them out, not to pocket the rest of the money.
No. And I mean, I've known people to run fundraisers, and they say, listen, for every $10 that's going to them, I'm keeping $1.
Yeah.
But you're being upfront with everybody, and you're saying this is exactly how it's set up, and this is how I'm doing it. But these people are not doing this, and they've never done that.
Well, they've never been honest, period. They hide things. They hide them any way they can, and it's nasty. And then they're telling us, well, we've done this before. Okay. K-Matt, thanks for the 5. Poor me, grifting funds. I know. So sad. I know. Poor me having to do that. Andrea, thanks for the tweet. May I have a birthday song? Yes, of course.
Yes.
You have a birthday song. Heck yes. I love getting them out. Here we go.
Happy birthday. From
all of us
to you.
Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy
birthday.
We love to have you here.
Happy birthday.
Here's to another year.
Man, I love that song, by the way. I have so much fun with that.
It is such a great song.
Yes.
I had to take a cue from you and actually write a new birthday song. It's like, hey, put a video to it. I was like,
I think the best song you've ever done is the Fleas one that we use over when we go to Rumble.
that was so beautiful because I was reached out to, and it's just like, hey, can you put me something together for this? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, this will be easy. And I didn't do the dub overs. That would have been done by everybody else. All I did was create the song. That was it.
I loved it. I thought it sounded great. But hey, Andrea, I hope you had a great birthday, by the way. Rickles, thanks for the 5. Has everyone forgotten about the AJC Scooter Jousting Commission? Oh, do we have to get approval from the Scooter Jousting Commission? Is that
I bet there's fees involved in that, isn't there?
Oh, there is. There's got to be, always. That's the way you grift, by the way. You become the organizer of every event. By the way, Scooter Jousting is mine. I'm trademarking it. Bam. I think that'd be amazing, to be honest. Puzzler, thanks for the 2. By the way, have you seen there is a a type of wrestling, but it's more like mixed martial arts rather. I can't remember what it's called, but the guys, they do it in like full suits. And if they can't take each other out in so much time, they'll throw in like a prop, pew pew or a knife. It's like, yeah, they're like street fights almost. It's crazy. I was watching some clips of that on YouTube. It just started up. And like, that's the greatest sport ever. Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to think that because Dollywood is going to be in Knoxville this year, they're talking about going to hang out for the micro wrestlers, which is awesome. And that is like, I mean, they have the longest standing stadium in Knoxville for the micro wrestlers.
That'll be
They've been
fun.
doing it for quite some time. I'm like, this is so cool.
That would be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun to check out. I was trying to see if I could find that freaking video, man, because when I saw that in passing, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was so crazy, you know. It's like I said, it's called Suit Jitsu.
Suit Jitsu.
Yeah, it's from Pit Boss Grappling.
Ooh.
Yeah. You should look it up, man. It's crazy, especially the shirts. Like I said, they'll throw in a fake pew pew or a knife. It's just amazing. Puzzler, I like this, by the way. Thanks for the Anti-Hales, the Russian nesting doll of victimhood. Indeed. Indeed. You pop it open and they're like, no, I'm a victim. No, I'm a victim. Yeah.
I'm a victim before you were a victim.
What I love about that stuff is this drive for victim. Like I said, you know, when these people do awful stuff, I point it out. If they, if they target kids or they've done something crazy, you know, we go out and we try to highlight that. These people, you know, they like lips and chips. I would say the damage they did. Oh yeah, but barring that, they sure as hell ain't making anybody a victim, you know. Just a bunch of weirdos. All right, I'm set my redirect while we were talking. Adair, man, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for 5 gifted memberships too. I freaking love like your avatar. Always picking around, always looking at you like, hey, what's up? Death Angel, 40 months. Thank you, Death Angel. Love to you. Hey, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you, too. Hugs. Love to you all. This case, it keeps getting wilder. Yes, indeed. It does. Glad to see you, Tug. Papa Nut. We have a big scan coming Monday. I'll update everyone with Mom's scan. Hey, prayers to you and love to you. Big time. You know, we'll keep you in our thoughts for sure. And everybody, again, you know, show your love. If you need anything, too, just yell at people, you know. Remember, you got a lot of people out there. Puzzle. Thanks for the 5. Felice gets no respect. She can't keep her subscribers. And now even her yo-yo won't come back. Well, if you're, I mean, even the cricket left.
Oh, don't worry. I've maintained the cricket. The cricket is alive and well and hanging out and writing all kinds of music.
I was worried for it, you know. I was very, very worried for it, you know.
He's good. He's safe.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know, because I mean, I was scared for them. Suzanne, thank you for that gifted membership there. Thank you. Much appreciate that. It's good to see you too, as always. Sandy, what's up, Sandy? 43 freaking months. That's awesome. Hey there. Well, hey there, return. Appreciate you there. Thank you. William, thanks for the 5. When you said it's a somber day, I was like, oh no, don't tell me the chicken skin. No, I need to put that down too, because one day we will run out of chicken skin.
I'm going to send a pack of chicken skins to Megan. That's what I need to do.
The chicken skin.
Send it with her leg warmers.
Okay. I'm going to write down all the wonderful monetization things, you know?
Yes.
I mean, there's so much out there. I mean, we have to monetize everything. Oh, let's see. Travis, thanks for the 10. Love you, girls, brother. It's good to see you, my friend. The facts of these Fs go after girls pisses me off, and Hales has every right to do what he's doing. These idiots need to pay for their shit. And to do time. They should too. Yeah, and you know, it's just crazy that when you deal with law enforcement and you deal with like it's a coin flip. You never know if they will or won't help you. And Levy County, well, look at what Levy County has done with these people.
They've just they'll let them ride. They're just like, you know,
they've colluded though. I mean, these people brag like Michelle would brag about the relationship. You know, it's even captured somewhat in the conversation I have. Remember, that's a first conversation.
Yeah.
So first time out the gate, she's talking about, oh, Beecham and I, we have a great rapport. We have a great relationship. It's like, wow, that's messed up. And then he shows up, you know, to go after a victim. And yeah, it's just weird. So weird. But thank you, Travis, man. Yeah. You know, one of the reasons I point out that they go after the kids, the reason I do that is just to show you who they are, you know, because ultimately, luckily the mods handle a lot of that stupid shit, but anybody that would do that, you know, that's gross. Oh, you target 6-year-olds. Good job. You know, amazing. What a great person. Pickle Tank.
And that's something that we've tried to avoid talking about HG because you know, because it is a minor child, but they have no problem throwing that child right in the mix anytime that they need it that extra little bit.
That's the problem. They bring the kid up repeatedly all the time. The kid is front and center. And I don't focus on, like, when they talk about health problems or anything, I don't talk about that at all. What I talk about is red flags. The red flags with her and her reports, because she herself, now she weirdly enough blames the Grangers. She's like, oh, Teresa Granger, she's the one. And I was like, you know, you said certain things in your own words. You said things about John Cook, and then that message that was put out, that had nothing to do with the Grangers. So it's kind of strange to throw Teresa Granger in there when you told Shara that, you know, you messaged her this crazy mess.
Yep.
She brings up, you noticed in that too, she brought up Teresa Granger, but even in that, she's accusing John Cook of terrible things. So
yes,
that tells you there are more accusations, you know. That's the wild thing, because she's referring back to something else we don't even know about.
Well, and she's been saying multiple times, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, you can correct me on this, but she said multiple times, as soon as she gets John Cook out of her life, she's gone. Like, she doesn't want to have anything to do with him because of the kind of person that he is.
Yeah, she said that to me. She said that to other people. She says that all the time. If you hear this thing firing up, by the way, people, I'm keeping a journal on how it does, you know, over time, and through the live stream. Since the live stream was one of the issues where things popped up, I'm keeping a good watch on it.
Good.
Yeah, so I don't want anybody being like, "What the hell's that up with?" Well, I'm journaling it up, you know, making sure
it's your expensive back massaging machine.
Yeah, I wish that's what it was. Honestly, Pickle Tank thinks of the 10 there. Once when I was at my sister's house in Windermere, I asked her if she knew about the villages. She said, "Oh yeah," and she would never live there. And just because she has a golf cart, no, oh no. Oh, that's terrible. Suzanne, I dropped another gift out. Thank you, Suzanne. Again, very much appreciated. I can't say that enough. Thank you, ma'am. Emmy, thanks for the 10 there. As an RN, I left formal health care due to the insurance runaround and the doctor-patient relationship. But yes, my patients, unfortunately, weren't getting appropriate care. You're your best advocate, and they're not gods. Indeed. Well, the problem is, though, when you complain, they start looking for reasons to dip you out, you know, send you somewhere else. And honestly, there's a lady I know that has a like heart failure. She's going through all of this stuff. She just had surgery. She needs to get back in to see doctors. And after surgery, no kidding, they scheduled her for a checkup. They said she was experiencing pain and stuff. They were like, well, we can see you, but we're really booked. So it's going to be 6 weeks. Like, she's having pain from surgery now, you know?
Yeah.
You'd think that would matter. Nope. Yeah, it's crazy. Patrick thinks that 5. Why is it that BBB is not a creditor? Because when you fire a lawyer hired on contingency, the lawyer can charge for the work already done. Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't try to list him in things, to be honest. But we'll see. You know,
well, but you have to understand that he's already gotten paid. That came out of the Lee's mouth themselves. They're the ones that said BBB's already been paid for all of the fees and everything.
I think no, he was planning on charging a redonkulous amount of money. Again, you know, he himself he said on stream that his time was worth around $500 an hour, which, you know, that's arguable. You could argue that in court, but he was spending every day at least an hour a day talking to Lynette Preston on the phone. That's what she herself said. Yeah, so you're talking about, just from that alone, I'm sure he would try to bill like $180,000, you know, just for that. So he was running up quite the cost, you know, but we'll see. D spills the tea. What's up, D? It's good to see you, by the way. Thank you for the gifted membership. It's always good to see you too. You know, I look forward to seeing more of your work, by the way. Your work has been very good. Sister Sal, thank you for the 5 giftos. Thank you for that. Also, I always love seeing your avatar. I love it. I love seeing people happy with their families and stuff. I love it. Travis, thanks for the 5. Tug, I'm working for you as a wrench, but you don't effing pay me. I know. This is a little bit for the girls, brother. Thank you. I know, man. I know. Poor wrenches. Actually, you mods, you do a great job. So for real, like, no joke. Thank you, folks. You know, and Travis also thinks, oh, fuck, for Megan's birthday, for you, Tug, your contribution to your game. Woohoo! Thank you, Megan, for helping out with Resident Evil Requiem. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Brother, hope you and your family are great. I got some neck issues to deal with. So I love you. Oh, hey, man, you take care of yourself, brother. You know, I'm glad that we can do our show all the time. Again, sometimes we just have a show to hang out and goof off. Like tonight, I mean, they're talking about suing us. I thought that would be a good topic. We could goof off, but really, it's just a reason to get us all together and goof off, talk to Chizzy. You know,
I have fun.
I do. I'd love it too. Sister Sal, also, thank you again. Thank you for 20 for the memorial of grifting gone. I know. Oh, the grifts. We miss you. But to the new grift for the birthday grifting. I know the grifts will never die. Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm going to have to get on this birthday grift here.
I know you got to find somebody and be like, you know, well,
I think Mr. Coop is my next target.
I'm going to go through the whole band of 2L in the gang. I'm going to go through all of them. I'm going to birthday grift every one of them because I think it's funny.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm going to,
you know, I should have Mr. Coop on at some point in time.
Oh, Mr. Coop's a good guest, man.
Yeah, he is.
I like it. But Mr. Coop, thanks for the grift that will never die. Love the show tonight with Shizzy. Thank you, man. I've had a lot of fun too. A lot of fun.
Yes.
Pickle T, thanks for the 10. Tug, I'm 5'11". Hey, that's quite tall, actually, you know, and I can accidentally step on both the gas and the brakes. Yes, I know that is. My foot will slide off. Everyone's surprised. It usually ends up with a, oh, shit. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. With my foot, you know, at a size 14, like in a small car, I used to have to set my, it's funny if you never paid attention to somebody, like when I drive a Honda Accord, I'd have to cock my foot side. I couldn't go up and down because I couldn't put my foot was longer than that area. So I'd have to rest it. I'd have to put it all the way over to the far right and then set my foot, you know, at an angle, basically at like 10 o'clock, you know, so I could hit that. That's wild to do. It's so dangerous, man.
It is.
Thanks for the 2. I'm Marla and Tammy. Yeah, don't forget to, that's right, hit that like button. That's right, share, etc. And make sure that we give those people some kind of a wonderful So, some kind of a wonderful membership too. They seem to love them.
Yes,
AKA the
they
cat
do.
lady. Thanks, vibe. Jay just went up you and Megan. He's doing a Nancy Guthrie stream.
Oh,
Of course. That's funny. That's pre-road drifting. Indeed. Yeah, he's funny, man.
I love it.
I just said like you know, they don't go after him as much either because he's such a nut, you know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I love that about him, you know. What's up?
Puts a smile on my face, and I can't always catch everybody, but whenever I'm able to catch Jay, he puts a smile on my face.
Yeah. I was catching him today. It was really funny. Ciela, thanks for the 41 months. We played Spirit in the Sky. I like that song. Yeah. That's your dad's memorial service. I like that. Granny wasn't pleased, but he would have been proud. That's the way you bang it out. You know what? You can deal with the anger and the aftermath later, like bust it out before.
Absolutely.
Thanks to the two. I challenge Chug to joust me. Yeah, Venom's going. There we go. I guess it's on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah.
Mama Bear, thanks for the 6 months there. How dare you get paid researching your butt off? Us from home. It takes time to find the truth, not to mention fun, laughter, and extended family. Indeed, you know, that's the thing. Like these people too. It's really funny when they're talking about, oh, well, we don't try to get any money when we do stuff. Well, you got 100,000 reasons that you didn't turn over.
Well, we already know that they don't do their own research. They have other people do the research for them. Like every single bit of the research is done for them. And that's what they told Stacey Nat.
Yeah.
They were so down on her. It was just like, and Stacey Nat's like, listen, I did all this research for you and you're treating me like garbage.
Well, you notice that anybody that ends up in their circle eventually, you know, unless they're one of their larger scumbags, you know, they turn on them. They turn on everybody in their groups, and they ask them to do so much for them too. Like you said, Stacey Nat, you see how that turned out, but also look at everything that they were asking her to do. And then they act like, oh, I wasn't really asking her. She wanted to do it for me. I was actually like, I don't want to know about this. Man, bullshit. Your whole show is about us. You know?
Exactly.
I love it too.
And here's the thing. Well, you know, they don't understand. If Hale's stopped every single suit automatically and there was nothing going on, they would die on the vine.
Yeah, they have no show. They have nothing. That's what I keep saying. Like, there goes all their money. There goes all their discussion. Because after the conversation follows him, can they pull over time maybe 100 people that might listen to it? Maybe 60, something like that. But they won't pull real numbers. Like the numbers that they see aren't connected to them. They're connected to Hales, to that name.
Exactly. Well, and I can tell you, I know what my numbers look like because, you know, I don't cover just Hale. I cover Laura Owens. I've got stuff going on Dalton. I cover multiple different topics, and I can see where the numbers fluctuate because people are interested in what's going on with the Hales, or they're interested in what's going on with Laura Owens, and it's a completely different crowd of people, and you already know that that's going to happen, but they've got nothing outside of Hales because that's what they've been their lifeblood for the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's all they've got, though. I mean, any channel motion they've had. That's funny. Like people like Ray. Do you think people, if he weren't talking about Hales, do you think people would listen to his rambling ass, like sit out there and say absolutely nothing for 2 hours?
No.
I mean, that's the kicker. I mean, it's always people are trying to see. They're watching, and good for it, by the way. I mean, I watch a lot of the shit show too. I absolutely do. You know, I keep up with the shit show, but it's more than just random commentator. Again, these people, regardless, we'll see what happens in courtrooms, but they have admitted themselves to trying to take him down and ruin him.
Yes.
You know, and she, oh God, again, they are begging for, they're like, oh, we're going to sue Hales. You'll give him another bite at the apple right there with a countersuit.
Yeah.
And I mean, you really want that? You're fighting against somebody with very deep pockets. You know, you think you got that kind of a push, you know, you got lucky and didn't get past the service portion. Because if you would have, we saw what happened with trying to write and counter his claims. She couldn't even remember what the fucking claims were. She got all that wrong.
No, well, ChatGPT wasn't helping her out much.
No. That's the problem with ChatGPT. You have to know how to ask it questions, you know?
Well, it wasn't just that. It was also lawyers giving her bad advice. And Bruce pointed that out very blatantly. He was just like, what in the hell are you talking about? Why are you promoting this? Because it makes you look like an idiot. And that was when her lips was on her. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, oh my God. They're trying to say this is defamation. Yes, he was
right. You know, I love how he put them on like, oh my God, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Essentially, and I was like, oh my God, he's telling the truth there. And Shield Maiden, by the way, yeah, the cricket went back to Lofty. Indeed.
How in the hell is Lofty doing these days?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in forever. He just kind of gravitated offline. He got sick of it. He thought, I want to do something else. What did he do? I don't know. He made good money, you know, when the NFT wave and all of that was hitting. He made really good money in that. So he may have made enough money, you know, to set him up forever. I hope so. I liked Lofty.
I hope so too. Lofty was awesome.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. You know, I really did like him. I like, you know, I disagreed with him on a lot of like themes on movies and stuff, but I like that he had a cultured opinion too. God, he'd watch about everything. I loved it. Rest in B-Face. Thanks to the 5. R.I.P. the Big Grift. It was fun while it lasted. I know. So sad.
Broken. My heart's torn apart. At least it's not overinflated.
Indeed. I just love how they think, like, you know, they're setting, what really amuses me is they're sitting on a stream talking about the very thing that they're like, well, it's over. I'm like, well, if it's over, then why are you talking about it? Because it's not even, we're close to over. I mean, we still have a bunch of cases, bro. And I really expect more to come from it. You know, I do.
Yeah.
Tinsel, what's up, Tinsel? Thanks for the 4 months. Please be my internet Valentine. I'm only 5'1", but on here I can pretend I'm taller. Will fit. Oh, you know what?
No. 5'1" is perfect. I mean, we can have some fun with that.
Yeah, I actually like you know, when I've dated or anything else, I don't think I've ever really dated that many tall girls. You know, I don't know. I have to think about it. You know, most of them are like average height or a little bit shorter, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Let's see. 5'1" there. You know, my grandma, I remember one of my favorite memories is I remember being little. I've discussed this before. Really little, my grandma, she used to, I would go over, I'd make like crafts and stuff. And my grandma would put the scissors and, the tape and stuff on top of her refrigerator. She'd get a little step stool. She'd claw up it and, you know, put stuff in. I'd be like, oh God, I hope one day, please God, I want to be tall like Granny. You know, then I found out my grandma was like 4'11" or shorter. Now when I walk past, you know, like anybody who puts stuff on the refrigerator, I just look up there. You know, I walk past it, I can see on top of it. But I thought my grandma was like tall as heck when I was little. I found out she was tiny. And Mama Bear, thanks for the 2. Happy Singles Awareness Day. Indeed. You know what? You can have fun on your own time and your own dime. Without too, you know, there are pros and cons to everything. So,
Oh yeah.
all right. I think we are good. I think, let me make sure I did not miss anything outside. Nope, I don't see anything. All right. Well,
Good.
appreciate you being here, Shizzy. It was a fun talk. We're all going to be sued. We're all in trouble, man. You know,
I'm waiting on it.
Yep, I'm going to be grifting off that too. Oh no, terrible. But tomorrow, I believe Tina will be on. We will be early, so stay tuned for that. You know, and again, appreciate you folks, and we will see you.